Pipalook doesn't know much about the cities. If you were to ask her, she will tell you that they are loud and busy and odd. The people dress and talk in ways that she is not familiar with, and, though it hasn't happened yet, it feels as if she could be lost in the crowds and never again see a familiar face. It is in cities that she most longs for home, to return to a land of ice, mountains, and magic so strong the air seems to shimmer with it. She longs for her people, the Furtimen, a nomadic tribe who have traveled the taiga for countless generations. She longs for the Skogoranda, the dense, evergreen forest that seems to stretch as far as the eye can see. She longs for Ashera. She longs for home. In cities, Pipalook is out of her element. She, who can tell from a shifting wind that a blizzard will soon fall upon them. She, who can track deer through summer marshes without losing her quarry or herself. Cities are not where she belongs. But she cannot return home, not yet. The Skogoranda has been corrupted. The trees now leach a black sap that sicken all who touch it. If she does nothing, the sickness will eventually claim Ashera's heart. The forest will die. That cannot happen. Pipalook will not allow it to happen. So she has traveled south, seeking information, seeking hope, to stop what is happening to her home. She finds herself in the employ of a benefactor, amid new companions, and facing a future that is still uncertain.
To call him lifeless would be an insult, as Unido is full of life. Possessed with a power that is not yet understood by Unido, he has allied himself with a group of travelers. Travelers who find Unido to be quite the enigma. Faceless, the wooden figure on occasion frightens those less accustomed to the macabre. This doesn't stop Unido from engaging with albeit a childlike whimsy. Emotionless, Unido refuses to hearken to words of wisdom as he does not quite understand social normalcies surrounding him. No eyes, but he sees. No ears, but he hears. No mouth, he does not speak. Proving to be a formidable ally, Unido will aid the party in the best way he knows how. Click-clack, click-clack. Wooden feet tap on wooden floorboards. A figure moves through hallways. You attempt to see their face and are reluctant when there isn't one. They are searching for someone and don't appear to relent. Click-clack, click-clack, sword and shield. Click-clack, click-clack. The only breath you hear is yours. Click-clack, click-clack. Its imposing shadow. Click-clack, click-clack. Its hand opens the door. Click-clack, click-clack. Buttons fall to the floor. Click-clack, click-clack.
Born and raised in Falstaff, Eric's Rhymewing enjoyed a comfortable childhood. He grew up with a small family of 5. His devout mother, Desarabia, was a beauty of icy ancestry, with her pale blue skin and dark black hair. His father, Skamos, a stern but fair man, dedicated to his work and making sure his family had all the comforts the utopia of the timeless could offer. And his 2 younger sisters, twins, Para and Pira, were wickedly smart and fiendishly loyal to their older brother. To pass the time, he worked as a shop clerk for a merchant in the heart of the Golden Display, the city's market district. He enjoyed a simple and affluent life, but his life didn't really begin until it ended. A seemingly normal day in his 17th year ended in fire and smoke as an unexplained explosion rocked the Golden Display. Many were lost, Eric's included. The Rhymewing family held a funeral, they mourned their loss, and went about their lives as best they could. Barely 2 days after they had said their goodbyes, their formerly dead son returned to their doorstep, very much alive, spouting off nonsense about black wings. For some time they accepted him, kept him hidden, and continued life as if everything was normal. As time went on, however, his parents became more and more fearful of what their son had become, as he sought out information that was forbidden in Falstaff. Things having to do with religion and death. One day, just after his 18th name day, a group of Amber Guard came to their home to arrest the heretic. In a flurry of frantic emotion, a confused Eryx called out to his family as the guards attempted to subdue him. He fought harder at the sight of his sister's terrified faces peeking around a corner. Cold electric energy burst from his hands and arced around the room. The home was engulfed in flame before he was even out the door. His race to freedom eventually led him to Port Mirheti, to a temple of the Raven Queen, where he began his learning. While keeping the queen's balance, he would receive visions from his patron. He owed her his life, after all, so he had no choice but to heed these calls to action. Eryx became an instrument of faith, and those fated to pass beyond the veil would be watched over to make sure no outside forces intervened. In the case of intervention, Eryx would be dispatched to carry out fate's design and maintain the necessary balance between life and death. The visions were formulaic and simple. They were all the same, until they weren't. Now his patron was sending him off on a different path, one towards someone very much alive. Eryx set off in search of another acolyte, one of Sehanine. The queen warned him of an impending darkness, and to seek out assistance in the battles to come.
Raoul Renaud Rousseau was born into the academic world of Continuar. Growing up in the Brass Gardens, his father kept Raoul close to the influence of Sarama's Imperial University. A sickly child, Raoul spent much of his time in the university's library reading all he could on Giantkin. His imagination ran free among their might, hoping one day he could be as powerful as they. Sadly, his childhood would be riddled with misfortunes. Illness quickly claimed the life of his mother. In his adolescence, a terrible accident would crush him in both body and spirit. Raoul, finding the sorrows of his life to be too great, began to be swallowed by this darkness. Months would pass, and even with his closest friends by his side, nothing could break the sadness that had engulfed him. Unable to watch his ailing son fade away just as his mother had, Raoul's father spoke words of wisdom, hoping to bring his son back to him. Giants stand tall not because of magic or might, but of the resilience in their soul. Though you may not be as tall, you can step as they do, as long as you are willing to first stand. From the love of those around him, Raoul was inspired to move forward. Day by day it was a struggle to endure. The scars of his past remained, but there was more life for him to live. Returning to an ordinary life, he would enroll to study archaeology at the Saraman Imperial University. This led Raoul to an opportunity of a lifetime. Thracentorp, a frost giant fortress in Talapolaran, was excavated for the first time. Experts and expeditions from all over Erelaya flocked to the discovery. Traveling with his professors as a field assistant, Raoul journeyed for months, and being one of the first groups to arrive, they quickly ventured forward. But one mistake, deep into the icy remains of the fortress, proved almost fatal. Waking up in caverns separated from the rest of the expedition, Raoul walked deeper into the mountain until he came upon a throne hall. The site, a graveyard of giants slayed and scattered across the room, their leader dead upon his throne. Pierced through him, a mysterious axe was embedded in the king's neck. The scene of gore was timeless in the ice as Raoul felt a pull for the first time. A call, a compulsion, a beacon. Coming from the axe, it laid, waiting to be found, and Raoul, by chance, was the one to find it.
While most little girls played with dolls and dreamed of princes and castles, Velifera Zanister spent her formative years amongst the dead and dying. Though most may see this as a cruel and morbid upbringing, as a moon elf from the city of Mortos Lagos, it was an honor. It was an even higher honor to become a daughter of the night sky. For her final trial, she was cast into the rainforest of Fola Morta. Velifera spent weeks seeking the guidance from Sehanine. Where life grew strong, she found the pull of death, silent and omnipresent as the moon lurking in its shadow. But from within the shadow, she came upon what she was sent to find. Now with her newfound jaguar familiar, Navarre, Vaceran is sent by the daughters to perform their rituals, bringing comfort to those in need of her. Although her presence can be unsettling, her empathy and compassion outweighs first impressions. And while the nature of her work has led her to travel alone, becoming unaccustomed to the social graces of others, her loyalty to her new friends is unending. After all, it is nice to be amongst the living while dealing with the dead.
Growing old is not as easy as one might assume. Few know this reality more intimately than that of one Roy Kotor. Born of a noble family in the city of Lofschloss, his mother Lily passed away while Roy was a young boy. Questionable circumstances surrounding her death caused Roy's father Archibald to focus on unraveling the mystery. With each thread and piece of evidence revealed, it slowly drew his father mad until he too was lost. Roy now had more questions than answers and a household full of family heirlooms, most notably a journal that his father kept. Upon reading the journal, Roy realized that there was nothing left for him in Lofschloss. With a deteriorating estate, Roy sold most of his material belongings, keeping only what he had left on himself. Choosing to take on the road, Roy honed his skills in cards and other games of chance, as well as a long-term relationship with the always lovely Lady Liquor. Delving even further into his father's journal, Roy took notice of other aspects of himself that were coming into finer clarity. Abilities, wants. Now Roy travels the road trying to find where he fits into the world at large.
Hello! And welcome to A Vaceran Dream. I am your host and Dungeon Master again, Patrick Clayton. I remembered my full name this time. So, welcome back. It is episode 3. We did it! We made it to 3 weeks of all this debauchery. I'm all those who are watching, I'm glad you made it with us. The work week was hectic, I'm sure. But, yeah. Just so you know, we are now on YouTube. Unfortunately, we only have one episode available. You will be able to catch our other episode. Will be uploaded tonight. YouTube it's an interesting application. Was that you?
No.
Okay, and very well.
That was YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is knocking and letting us know that we need to stop bad-mouthing them, and I will start right now. Also, well, we are here to play Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm here with my amazing friends here. I just want to give a shout-out to Amber, and James, and Anna Grace, and William, and Corey. Unfortunately, we are without one Dakota Deer for another week in a row, but it's fine. Do you know why? It's her birthday tomorrow! Hey! Happy birthday, Dakota. 13 going on 30? I don't know how that works. So before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. First and foremost, we'd like to give a big shout out to Easy Roller Dice Company. They supply to us these amazing dice trays and dice that you will see us rolling on our stream. That's a good number. So please visit them at easyrollerdiceco.com. They have a full selection of dice trays, dice towers, and the lot. With that said, those of you who are participating in our giveaway on our first episode, we will be getting out your items this week. We just received them here, and we're putting together our packages. So please stand by your mailbox vigilantly all week. It will show up
with a shotgun.
With a shotgun. No guns, please. Also, we also have another sponsor. I'm going to hand it over to James here so he can give a big shout out to our other sponsor for the stream.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Glass Cabinet Hobbies for providing us some D&D miniatures that we'll be using throughout the stream. So be sure to check out his store, glasscabinethobbies.com, or his Facebook page in order to buy the newest set of D&D miniatures. Nice.
Awesome, amazing. I cannot wait to start using them on the regular. You did see a few of them last session. Only little ones, but we got bigger ones, real big ones. Also.
Nope.
What's that?
Nope.
The biggest ones.
No thanks.
They're huge.
Nope.
Okay. Also, we'd like to give a big shout out to Sustainable Families Foundation. Sustainable Families Foundation is an organization that we here in the future, because you know what? We just made affiliate, and we're going to start raising some money for this organization in the very near future here. So please stick around, and we will provide to you as much great content in the future so you can help us raise money for that organization as well as for ourselves, so we can continue to do this amazing thing that we are doing right now. But SustainableFamiliesFoundation.org is an organization that you should totally check out. They are local to us, and they help the less fortunate in their times of need, which everybody always needs a little extra help. Also, I'd like to give a big shout out to our amazing artists. If you noticed in our intro pieces, our headshots that were created by one Carolina Abrantes, is an amazing young woman who did some great work for us. You can see her artwork on her Twitter, on her Patreon. Her Twitter handle is @fires_00. Please check her out, give her some love, and just let her know that you appreciate the work that she's done for us. Also, please feel free at the bottom of our stream here, you can link all of our social media. We have our Twitter accounts, our Instagram, even our Facebook. So go there, and we have all kinds of fun extras about ourselves and about the stream in general. Also, next week, we will not have a regular campaign episode. It is Easter Sunday, and most of our table will be attending great functions with their families, and we respect and we appreciate that. But we are still going to run a game because we're amazing, we're crazy people. So my main man here, William, will be running a one-shot. I will get to actually play a game. Oh my god.
No.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I think we're playing level 6 characters, and it is called The Spring Huntsman. Very, very interesting. I'm anxious to find out how that's going to work. But tune in at a regular time next week for our one-shot, A Spring Huntsman, here on this channel that you are currently watching. We will promote throughout the week. Also, I feel like there's a bunch of notes here, but we got a lot to get out. On the 27th, it is the official International Tabletop Day. We will be here in studio on Saturday, April 27th, playing some games. We will have 2 different sessions. We will have an afternoon session. We have an afternoon session where we are going to play a version of Time Stories. If you ever played the game, it's a fun game. Makes you think. It's a very, very critical thinking type game. We actually just played a session last night, and we are still trying to figure out how to open a door. So please feel free to check us out on April 27th, where we will have 2 sessions. First session will be Time Stories, and our second session, probably in the evening, we will be running a game of Dread, which, if you're familiar, Dread is essentially it's like that of Jenga, but you get to tell a fun story and maybe creep out a few people, which we like to do. I'm double jointed. I think that is everything. So
There you go.
it's creepy, man. It's creepy. You need to do the elbow? It's like, no, don't do it. I think we're ready to start. So, where we left off last week, traveling from the hamlet, this town of Claythorpe, you managed to make your way south, knowing that you had to make it to the University City of Cariad. You traveled rather briskly, camping out on the open road, but camping out on the open road and trying to make your way as quickly as possible. It was at an intersection where your cleric, one Velifera, had a vision, which led her to lead you to an underground cavern or tomb. Once inspecting this tomb, you encountered a few adversaries. One gelatinous cube, which you felled rather quickly. A group of orcs, which you felled rather quickly.
Yeah.
And an individual who had no business being down in this cave, which you felled rather quickly. So, we find ourselves still in this cave. Licking your wounds, gathering yourselves. You have an individual a full orc individual in armor laying on the ground unconscious where you had knocked him out. With his back to you, the entity that is Unido is leaning over this human male. From what you can see, this human male is laying on the ground with an arrow or bolt pierced into his leg. I believe it was an arrow. Unido puts his head close to the individual. No words are spoken. And in this instance, I would suggest only a few of you took notice as you saw Unido's hand quickly raise up, the rapier-like blade pierce out of his hand and end the life of this individual. You find yourselves in this room. Eric's standing in the background holding this spear with this orcish writing on it. Next to you would be Velofera. Unido with Pipalook standing near this body of this individual who Unido just felled. Roy in the back with Marceline coming up from the rock. Rao standing near the body of this orc individual laying on the ground. In this instance, what are we doing?
And as my blade retracts back from the body, after just hearing a telepathic message that came back to me,
Mm-hmm.
the word Manus Sway was said. Unido plunks down and lays,
Seated or falls forward?
falls back.
Falls
Just
back.
like straight back.
Is he inert at this point?
Yes.
Pipalook, you take notice of this very quickly. Eric's, you can roll me a perception check. Actually, Roy, you can roll it as well. You are over the body right now of this orc kind of rifling through. Your attention is focused on... No. I'll say Marceline. She takes notice.
One's out.
No?
6.
Okay. Pipalook, you definitely notice Unido. The blade retracts and he falls back.
I rush forward and first survey the bad guy, make sure he's definitely dead.
Roll me a medicine check.
Yep. It's gonna be 10.
He did.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna look over Unido and see if there's any signs of movement or anything, because he's gone up from a prone position, but he's never gone down from a prone
Okay,
position.
roll me an investigation check on Unido.
Yeah.
Say no medicine checks here.
Yep. Investigation, you said?
Yes, please.
9.
9. He appears to be laying on the ground. Again, no different than any time you've ever seen him not moving.
And I'll just say quietly to him, "Why did you do this? Why did you kill him?"
And obviously there's no response because I don't talk, but in your mind you do hear in more of this kind of wiser, kind of elderly voice the words, "Help me."
I will take a couple steps back because it's never happened to me before. And then, what do you need? What do you need help with?
And then you see no movement still, and the voice doesn't seem to carry on conversation.
Can I pick him up?
Easily. You don't even have to roll. As you do pick him up, you realize you're very shocked as to how he even stands or moves. He is very just light. It's like picking up a small log.
And does he stay rigid, or does he kind of
Yeah, I stay rigid.
Oh, that's weird.
Light and feather, stiff as a board.
It's like the joints are locked in place. Sort of thing.
Okay, I'm creeped out.
And leaving the body behind us, I'll return us to the group.
Okay. Walking with the plank of wood in your hand now, and making your way back. At this point, Eric's, you stand with Velofera standing beside you. She looks at you very happily. You got it.
I did. I don't really understand what a patron of the moon goddess would want with a spear of storms, but I hand it over to her, and
as soon as you do, her hand is placed on it, and it does touch the orc blood that is on the spear. She pays it no mind, looks at it, holds it. She says, "I have no idea. I can only attempt to commune later, and maybe she can shed some insight on this. But thank you for protecting me.
Of course.
And she points to the large individual that is now felled on the ground, the immense, and you remember you still with scars across your chest. He hit like a truck. Yeah, he hit pretty big, and she just thank you very much, Mr. Kotor. What are you doing?
Marceline, VIP, you are the best fighter I've ever seen. Thank you so much for your help.
I don't get it.
Just walk away. I'll just walk over to Unido. I mean, we're
as you walk towards you walking towards Pipalook, and you see Unido completely flat and stiff.
Can I do sort of a mechanical-minded, like a tinkering?
You can roll a tinkering
investigation?
check. Yeah, roll an investigation check. You can. I would allow for you to add your
intelligence.
Yeah. Well, it's already in intelligence. You can add your proficiency to it.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. If we're gonna do that, then we're gonna have
because you're doing it as a tinkering.
22.
22.
Reset button.
You see ball joints that connect the arms, the legs, the feet. You look about, you look under it as it's still held in your arms.
Yeah.
Nothing about this is mechanical.
Okay.
Nothing about it is mechanical.
It spoke to me. In my head after he killed that man, it spoke to me. He said, "Help me."
I've never heard Unido speak, so...
I never did either. It was
What'd he sound like?
an old man.
Curious.
I asked him what he needed, but there was no response, and he doesn't move. I'm not sure if this is something in your expertise or maybe the others who are more familiar with magical arts.
Marceline! A chance to redeem yourself.
You see, it's weird because in these caverns you haven't seen any birds. You see two, specifically in your direction.
Actually, I see 3 right now. One's on my shoulder.
There you go. His shoulder.
I don't need you. He does. Hit. Man. Old man Unido.
Has he spoken to you before, Marceline?
And for the DM's sake, as we did have a former player playing this, have you ever spoken to Marceline?
No.
No.
It managed to do. He sent a message in my head, asking for help.
She is going to go over to Unido, and she's going to attempt to. I'm going to roll an Arcana check from her.
I'm going to roll whiskey.
Looking over him. I mean, for something like this to move, it'd have to be some magic. I don't know what kind of magic, but it is definitely something magical. It is something magical.
Does she touch?
She does touch you.
Back up.
In your hands.
Yeah. Spawn hat's still stiff, so it's like this the front part, like almost like pulling a book.
Stop.
If you have something to tell us, you have our attention.
Unido, talk. See, he doesn't talk. He has no mouth.
You asked me to help you.
I'm gonna continue to sit in your arms until you set me down, but it's just look at you and just keep motioning.
I don't understand this creature. He was speaking before.
Where were you hit during this battle?
I like pat your head.
We'll say that she does have a decent sized gash across her. That she
does she?
Yeah. Well, she's still. All of you have yet to
I have a gash across
heal,
my
with the
neck.
exception of you and Marceline. All of you have yet to heal up.
Slumped against like the steps and just
Yeah,
kind of
shallow
sit.
breathing.
Thanks for protecting me.
Hanging out.
You're like, okay. Guts are just pouring out.
I got my neck cut for the second time this game.
Yeah.
Cut that neck. Anyway.
He's making it hard.
I'm sorry, what? I'm doing what? Anyway. Moving forward. Mr. Kotor, keep it together, man. Rao, you are over the body of this orc individual, fully armored, shielded up with the symbol of that you notice the same symbol that is on the wall behind you.
Is he awake or is he still unconscious?
He is still unconscious.
Okay, then I'm gonna leave him like that for right now. Mentally changed some plans since the confrontation. I'll say, hey guys, we don't know who any of these people are. Do you want to help me look through some of these bodies and maybe we can figure out a thing or two?
I will.
I'll help.
I'll set Unido down since he seems to have
gonna
no interest in
reload
getting down my
Velifer
side.
does approach you.
Just let me go. My legs come back.
She clasps your hand, and she's going to cast your wound. Sorry. Oh, that's cocked. Should have went with the cocked dice. That is 4 healing points.
Yes.
But that is, yeah, she just burnt that spell.
Double digits.
I wish I could do more. I'm sorry.
It's alright.
I would
Not
like
bleeding out anymore.
to
So.
investigate a dead body.
Yeah, I just want to search the pool of dead bodies in that little area from the confrontation.
I would
Okay.
like to look too, looking for anything about the green emerald or the 3 emerald.
Okay,
Green
so
emerald.
as we are all looking, I would suggest one of you can roll at advantage.
Investigation?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm proficient in investigation, so.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the
Roll at
I think
advantage.
you have higher
Roll well.
intelligence than me, though. I think you have higher intelligence than me, though.
This is your thing. Do your thing.
You already got the dice in your hand.
Yep, alright.
Just happened.
True, yep, you're
Is that
right.
that new dice?
Yep, and that was
Oh,
awful.
hell.
The new one gave me a 1. That's a 7 altogether.
7 altogether. You
Yeah.
start flipping through these bodies. Nothing. Okay, so on the big guy, as you will say, what are you doing?
He's
Why am I-
investigating
why
the
am I-
body. Like,
Okay.
this arm under that arm. Nope. Next.
So as you look over the large body, aside from this gnarly blade, this great sword, is almost as tall as most of you. There's nothing on this individual. We'll say you see bits and pieces of maybe like a necklace full of ears, ranging from like elvish to maybe even gnome and halfling, some human ears on it. Nothing on there of importance. On the others, aside from their bits of hide armor that they wear, they have a few axes. They're great axes that they were wielding. Very shabby, probably seen a lot of battle and cut through, not taken care of in any way, shape, or form. And you guys would take the time to look over the other one. As you look over the other guy, yeah, you find nothing. You do find 3 vials of liquid that have been smashed.
Okay.
And he dropped his coin purse, right? 'Cause you said gold was shattered.
This would have been on
The farmer.
the
Farmer.
farmer.
I didn't check
No,
the
you were just
farmer,
checking the
just
orcs,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I do want to check him.
All right. You hop out of Pippaluke's arms.
Yeah. It's
You can roll me an investigation check specifically for the farmer.
Of their armor, is there any bits that look like it can be salvaged in case our armor breaks?
Roll me a survival check.
You said that all of his heart, his hide, right?
Yes.
All right, so now I don't care about that then.
I got a 14
make
on
you
investigation.
14 on investigation.
Checking the farmer.
Got it. What you do notice on the farmer, you find 2 vials of 2 vials. We'll say one is a purplish color, and the other is almost like a deep brown, almost like muddy water.
17 for survival.
17 for survival. You could probably salvage this to repurpose for. You guys did put them down pretty well, but if you pulled bits and pieces, you could probably use whatever was lacing them together, pull that off of one, and then maybe a back piece off another. And,
I like to take the time to do that.
okay, so you do take the time. You don't have to roll for that, but you do take. That is actively what you're doing right
Yeah.
now, is pulling armor off these corpses.
Are there any pieces of papers or parchments by chance?
The only
Detailing?
thing you see with the 14 too, As you open his little, we'll say, cloak or cover that he was wearing, off to the side you do see a little, almost like a patch or some sort of something that's stitched in the interior, and it looks very formal, and it's words that read specifically.
Is it something I can rip off?
You could.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
words
do that.
that read specifically, and I should have had this pulled up, and I apologize for not.
Versace. That's why you would rip it off.
My apologies for stalling like Joseph.
Again, I rip it off and I,
Ooh.
you guys, if anyone's watching me, you real quickly see me lift the hat.
It's the best hiding place ever.
Make sure it's
Blood, I don't think I saw
really tight
anything.
there.
Yeah. You got one of those blood blister things.
Yeah.
Or roll sleight of hand.
Can't
just
really see it.
See how
Holy
It's
well.
all
junk.
black or
I should have
white.
had this ready.
I think Eric's is a zombie.
It is a 16. I rolled a
Sleight of
sleight of
hand.
hand 16 to put it on my hat real quick.
What's everyone's passive?
My math is like
Definitely
13.
not 16.
12.
So the,
Yeah, I guess none of us see you except for Velafera.
but I do take the files and as well. I will give those to Marceline, and I'll pat her on the back as well. So
You see, it's like a black and white circle, white lettering that's stitched in to like a patch-like scenario, and it says Municipal Design and Civil Charity. And then at the bottom it says The Veil.
Alright.
By the way, the muddy water vial, that's just his canteen.
It's the restroom. I'm on
Municipal,
the road a lot.
municipal design and what else?
Municipal Design and Civil Charity. And then it says at the bottom, The Veil. That is, you take notice of that. You have the two vials, one a purplish liquid, one a brown muddied water. And then the coin purse is what you take notice of as well. That it was thrown down, or fell to the ground when he was shot in the leg with the arrow.
yeah, and if no one else is gonna start picking them up, I'll start sweeping them up.
Okay. You start sweeping them up.
Is there a broom in here?
There is no broom. Doesn't Unido turn into a broom?
She had a broom one time, but
We'll cue the Fantasia. There it is. Yes, but that is what you're actively doing.
Yeah,
you're
no,
going over the bodies, pulling off the armor. Eric's and Villafera, what are you doing?
I'm still on the floor, but feeling better. I'd like to check the vial I
Mhm.
have, and see if it did indeed turn into what it needs to
It
turn
did.
into. Okay.
As you look it over, you look and you see that there is full of red liquid, because red is healing potions. I've been told that I always had it in my head that blue was healing potions. I don't play enough video games
That's
to
mana.
argue with
Yeah,
this.
blue is mana.
Gosh, I would like to drink.
What's that? I'm sorry. I was plotting someone's demise in my head.
Oh, cool.
Anyway,
Sorry to interrupt that.
The blue
no,
one is Crystal Springs.
I would like to drink.
it's a bottle of hypnotic. You're gonna drink it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you're rolling your what check?
It's a Constitution
Okay,
saving throw.
you should totally roll that at disadvantage
Oh boy.
because you were interrupted while you were filling the vial.
Ooh, boy, I'm going to die. Okay, a 5 and a 6. Cool. Yeah.
Destroyed all these
yeah,
enemies.
I am not feeling great for an hour. So what does that even do? I
You
don't
are
know.
poisoned,
Yeah.
so you have disadvantage on.
Do I take damage?
Ability check. No.
No.
It's not Pokemon.
It's just
Yeah, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. So so you are currently poisoned and you are not healed.
What a good
Ouch.
what a good time to get poisoned after the battle.
Yeah.
Really?
Mr. Kotor, what are you doing?
I'm poisoning myself and taking a short rest.
And Rao, finally, what is it that you're doing?
Okay, I'm gonna go talk
After you've
to
done searched bodies.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to the orc that's on the ground that's unconscious.
Okay.
I will do my best to awake him.
You did
up.
bind him.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys did bind him.
Just for if I wrote it down. It was a 17 on the survival check
Yes.
to
So-
tie him up.
You got a little bow. He looks good.
Mhm.
Amazon.
So I'll try to physically lift him up against the pew.
Oh
that he's
wow,
on, so
physically lift. I need you to roll me a strength check there, buddy.
You got this, bud.
What's a natural 1 again?
Put those away.
I'm slowly running out of dice.
You pull a muscle in your back.
No, so I'm gonna actually lay down on the ground next to him and do the roll on concrete. Do the Burt Reynolds in front of the fireplace next to him.
There it is.
I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start like tapping him on the face.
Okay.
Hey.
You tap his face, and he does shake, awake, and then you see him immediately struggle at the binds.
Good luck with that. I rolled a 4. But real quick, I have a question. If you keep on wrestling like that, I'm gonna have to stab you. So please stop.
Are you still like?
Let's talk for like 10 minutes.
Roll me an intimidation check.
And do I hear that?
Yes, you would hear it because you are near him with the bodies that are around him.
I'm
Yes.
just gonna keep an eye on that situation.
21.
21. He stops struggling, and we'll say he's not listening attentively, but he's given you your time.
Okay. So that's 21 together. I say to him, well, this is really bad for both of us. I motion to the chink in my armor that he created. You kind of blew me to shit, and you're tied up, surrounded by people that will kill you for the fact you're just trying to kill us.
With that comment, we're all gonna be dead anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
The darkness is coming.
Okay. Here's the thing. I can like tough guy you back a little bit. I mean, I'm not really that big or anything. Like you're probably twice my size. So I'll try to be civil here and see if that works for a little bit. Obviously you have a mission. You're here to kill one of us and take an item. That much we know. You don't have to lie to me about that. I can see through it. But here's the thing. Why? You don't have to answer right now. What I'm going to do first before you start answering questions or decide to not answer my questions is tell you this. There's one of two ways this goes. Either you stay super defiant, keep on fighting against your binds, and then before you break out of them, I'm going to have to stab you and leave you to bleed out in the ground. Now, the issue with that is eventually when you die, you'll meet your maker, and I don't think your maker will appreciate that your end was met tied up like a squealing pig.
Except we're all gonna be dead anyway, as long as that moon bitch has got the spear.
Please don't call my friends bitch. That would be really appreciated. The second part of this is, if you so badly want to get away from her, I could leave you tied to a tree, we'll be on our merry way, and I don't have to have the conscience, on my conscience, an 8th death out of the 7 in this room.
I'd rather be dead.
I get that. I get that. You're a half-orc, machismo, all that. Or maybe whole orc.
Looks half to me.
Yeah.
Whoa, bro.
Felt like a half orc.
Oh, snap.
Thanks, Roy.
You're welcome.
Doesn't help.
I'll just be back here loading my gun. Let me know.
And here's the thing. I get it. You're not going to just let us go free. Eventually, you'll find a new posse of guys, maybe even get a little bit sharper blades, and come after us again.
I won't come after you.
Then who will?
The Green Ember will come after you. Now that you have that spear, you're as good as dead.
Here's the thing. We're kind of
legions. Armies.
That's cool. Since I'm not from up north, this fine vicinity that you all, never quite heard of you before.
You will.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The twing in my back is making me super irritated. And I've laid out my options I've given to you.
He's angry.
Villafera's like, why is he laying down?
So by the whole time I'm talking to him this way, my right hand is like massaging my lower back.
Yeah.
Is that like, is he posturing? What is he doing?
So
Just let it happen.
yeah, man. This is like what you're seeing right now is probably about as tough as I get.
You're gonna need to get tougher.
I'm a city boy, dude. This doesn't really work.
He nods his head. He just killed the king's son.
Do I notice which person he nods to when he...
The big, tall drink of water that was whooping everyone's ass earlier.
I'm trying to think who got the actual
I
killing.
can't remember.
I think it was a Pipalook. That was a Pipikill. Mark that on your Pipikill calendars. We got one Pipikill. Which is equivalent to a Bitcoin.
I'll take it.
Real though. I'll say, listen, man. I told you from the beginning. None of this really had to happen. You guys kind of rushed us. And in Continuar, we have this thing called a self-defense law. Now, here's the straight and narrow on everything.
I'm sorry. Pipalook, you can roll me an insight check on that statement.
Yep. That's gonna be. Sorry, it's 18.
18. There's no self-defense.
Nope.
You immediately stop, like mid, like pulling the armor off. Stop. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
You're doing the tough guy act. You say you'd rather be dead. You'd say this and that. But listen, I don't know what awaits you on the other side. But I kind of like being alive. And if I were in your shoes, I'd take the deal.
Roll me a persuasion check.
What's the
At disadvantage. At disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're
Because-
Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's
And you can
because
say
you.
please.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Listen, I'm not the
Bud.
super nice, the super.
You're good. You're good.
King who?
Ooh, disadvantage. It's a natural 20 and an 18.
Oh, nice.
Sick.
So
Okay. Okay.
I stand back up, and where's everyone positioned? Are they like?
We'll say
I'm
Unido
still
is over
myself.
here with the individual. Roy and
Yeah,
I got everything.
Yeah,
right
just
here. So
talk to it.
Roy and Marceline are kind of over here. Well, he's
I'm actually sitting on the thing with my legs dangling
Eric's
off.
Villafera
playing
back
with a gun.
here. Pipalook is like over
That's
here
safe.
messing with some
It's a door.
bodies. You got Unido by the door.
Yep.
This is here, and you're right here with my friend here. Sorry, and we're laying down as well.
Can I have made my way to Rao?
Yeah, easily enough. You walk over to Rowan.
I'm starting to walk towards Roy,
Oh.
Careless
so
whisper
she can
point.
like meet me in the middle.
Yeah, as you stand up, you're still sore. You kind of got the. You are a uppercase L right now.
Okay.
Did I hear any of that conversation as I was walking up?
Ooh, army perception check.
No,
I'm sorry. What's your passive
We were
12.
laying pretty close on the ground.
perception check?
And that's
Outside of
disadvantage,
fire.
right?
Because
poison.
yes, all skill checks.
It's a natural 20 and a 7.
A 7, you did not. We'll say Villafera still questioning why Rao was on the ground in your ear about it.
I mean,
It's
it
like-
would be an
It just
11
seems very unorthodox.
if that makes a difference.
It does.
Cool.
It's very unorthodox. I've just never seen anything like that before. And she's just droning
Just
on and on about.
Keep going.
It's just, and he's just like laying, and it's like
Mhm.
he's bleeding
I
out
walk
there
away.
on the ground. I just don't get it.
Okay.
These
Mhm.
humans, they act so weird.
So I approach Rao and what's his story, I suppose. What's the question? And why is he still alive?
We're going to let him live.
Let 'em live. Sorry.
And the benefits of that is...
Hope that we don't accidentally kill more royalty.
More royalty.
Yeah, I'll start walking with Eric's towards Roy in the group, so he's more out of earshot. Yeah, big boy right there is apparently a prince, and we killed him.
So, and I kind of like turn my back to the guy on the ground to kind of, so he can't, I don't think he can read lips, but...
Roll me a sleight of hand.
What?
Disadvantage.
Nope.
You have inspiration.
Natural one.
You roll an extra one?
Yeah.
What's his deal?
Hey you! Hey you!
Hey!
And as you finish your sentence, what are you saying that he can blatantly hear you yelling at this point? We'll say you got knocked in the head so hard.
Wouldn't
your
it
ear.
be
Yeah, there you go.
advantageous to not let the one witness live, perhaps?
Wait, I thought we had an agreement.
We are not killing people to cover
yeah,
our
yeah.
tracks.
Exactly, you're not killing people to cover your tracks.
Listen, in the heat of battle, I got a little angry, I got a little...
We're all at fault, we all make mistakes.
I got a little heated.
No, they literally came in here and were like, kill the Moonsworn.
But we didn't, mean it.
I throw a rock at him.
He has one hit point.
Roll me a dex.
You shot me!
Just roll me a dex.
Natural one!
You hit Pippaluke with it. She's like, we're not gonna kill. It's a pebble.
That works.
Things off her head.
So, I give him my word I'm not gonna kill him. Dude, half the time I don't even know what I'm doing.
Where's your bond?
At this point, I
His
stand
word.
up. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what happened last time we didn't kill something?
Yeah, and that's why I got all tough, but...
Marceline got punched. Marceline, do you want to get punched again?
I swear to God, if someone punches me again,
Just
Why did
saying.
you punch her?
Arrest my
What?
case.
I wasn't there for that, I
look,
don't think.
gives you the stink eye. If I get punched again,
What did you all do to her?
Now that I'm close enough to Roy, I'm gonna say, listen, if you want to do it, go for it. But
I start walking over there.
slide a handshake. Are you trying to whisper this?
no.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
assuming the distance would just be enough.
Yeah, you see him visibly now nervous as he believed that now he was going to live, and now it's
I start walking over
I'm
there.
gonna stand up and I'm gonna stand in front of him with my quarterstaff.
in front of Roy.
In front of
Okay, you
that
stand in
guy.
front of the guy on the ground.
I kind of deviate a little bit and then spin around. It's kind of deja vu.
What I was going to say before you walked away, friend, is I can't stomach it. The walk over here, stepping over all these bodies, it kind of cleared things up when I'm not actively getting an axe to the face.
He needs to die, says Velafera in the back.
Can I take a moment to step away and call upon my deity to see if she has plans for this orcish gentleman?
Roll me a religion check.
At disadvantage,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, you're poisoned. That girl is poison.
Oh, okay, 17 and an 18. All right.
Nice.
It doesn't apply when she's communicating for deity.
So
Some shit
17
matters.
plus 4.
17 plus 4?
21, thank
21. All right, so you commune. You get the sense from the Raven Queen that maybe not today, but soon his time is coming.
While he's communing with his deity, I would like to turn to the orc and say to him, did you speak the truth when you said you would go on your way and not mess with our affairs?
Oh, I kind of told him I was just going to leave him here tied and we'd be on our way.
Wait, what? I have no... It's a fool's errand. We left. He left. Mon. And he points to the large individual. I had a vision, and I knew the darkness was coming. We left to find this against his father's wishes.
Who was his father?
Did I hear that part of that?
Oh, yes, you would actually hear all this. Well, you're communing with your deity.
I don't know when that stopped or...
We'll say you can hear this.
Okay.
And what was his father? That was no normal orc.
Real quick, you said Mon? M-O-N?
Mon. M-O-N. Mm-hmm.
Because he's the one that took the big hit from the smite. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
He knew the darkness was coming. We know the darkness is coming. He wanted to prepare. The ritual occurred. He took on his second form to wield the spear. We traveled here to find it against his father's wishes. Once he had it, he believed that his father would see him as worthy.
And what is his father's name?
Nor Scale.
What was he planning to do with the spear? You said he was using it to protect?
To protect the Green Ember, to protect the tribe.
Protect how?
I need you to roll me a persuasion.
While he's doing that, can I make my way? Throw it away.
That's my third dice.
Oh, you have inspiration?
Throw it away.
Yeah.
No, he's contemplating if he wants to burn it right now.
I need this.
We all get one free inspiration.
Need a win, huh?
Dungeon Master.
Thank you, James. Yes. What you got?
So
What was it?
worse, so it's now it's 10.
10?
altogether. Yeah.
Can I go ahead and step in with an
Will.
intimidation here? I'm right.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you want? You pull out the
Answer.
chunk of metal?
Yeah, the chunk of metal. That he knows what it does already.
Roy.
Did you just wink?
What does that do? Yeah, I was going to say, the hat tip does a thing.
It gets me closer to your god.
Yeah.
Talk.
I would allow for an intimidation check. Get in there. What's up?
7.
He doesn't say anything.
So this was
Can
all
I-
in
No.
Oh, sorry, no, go for it,
so this was all in defense of your village.
Village, our kingdom. This was to help us to the visions I had. The darkness will consume these lands. And when they do, there'll be nothing left. This was to help us defend ourselves.
I'm sorry.
So new amendment to our deal. What you say next determines what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I will not lay a finger on you. But as you can tell, I'm not really in the place to talk for my friends here. Answer me. How are you going to protect your village? And depending how you answer, he pulls the trigger or not.
Down if she steps out of the way. I don't want to shoot you.
I would rather
At least
you
not
didn't.
yet. No relationship.
One more. You're going to get one more persuasion check, but this one's at disadvantage. Because you've already intimidated him unsuccessfully and tried to persuade him unsuccessfully.
Oh, 14.
14.
It's like, that's so short.
Yeah. DC 15.
In worthy hands. It is very powerful.
Oh god, that's so vague.
It's 14, bruh.
I know.
Translation, you not an orc.
Were you gonna kill
Yes.
her people or not? Then I can't speak for anyone else. And I walk away and I look at Roy.
Can I kind of like limp and flop down on the ground and like get face to face with him and like sit him up and like put him up against the pew, like so he's
Out of
not
your
lying
peripheral,
down?
you see Bellafair just cocking her head like, What is this weird tactic everyone keeps using with this guy?
I'm just like sitting cross-legged just on the ground because I can't really stand right now. I'm feeling like shit.
Even seated cross-legged, she's almost as tall as Unido. He is almost as tall as Unido. I'm getting there. I'm sorry.
It's
Working
okay,
on
it's
it.
okay. It's okay.
But you're seated across from this orc that's bound, laying on the ground in his ringmail armor with the shield off to the side.
I would like to cast Friends.
Ooh.
And then ask him a few questions. This darkness you speak of, what form did it take? Did your visions have specifics?
On the persuasion check. It's a straight roll
Straight
now.
roll, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, I'm walking towards Vaceran now, so I want to ask her some questions.
She stands there with the spear in her hand and Navari at her side. What's up, brah?
13. No, wait. 15.
15.
Yeah.
It is all around. I saw myself. I saw a version of myself. But I was prepared to kill myself. Does that make sense?
It was like a mirror image of yourself, and you were prepared to...
It was almost better. Stronger.
And that stronger version was ready to kill your true form.
Yes.
Who told you about the Moonsworn? I kind of gesture over my shoulder to Velafair.
She reeks of it.
Did you know she would be here?
We didn't know anyone would be here. But we knew it was here. He sent us. He nods and his head gestures towards the symbol.
The green ember.
The V.
The V. Who is your... who is your deity? Who sends you your visions?
The Tempest Warrior, Grumsh. They will come for the spear. They will take it. You will die. That is out of my hands. Your blood is on, his blood is on yours.
Let me know when I'm next to Velafair so I can speak.
Yeah, easily enough. That's how you walk. That's the noise you make.
Okay.
Sorry. It's canon.
I go to her and I say, have you figured out what you need the spear for?
I think I'm supposed to keep it away from them.
Why?
Because if they're too powerful, they'll sunder us all.
He didn't say anything about all of us. He just said you.
From what I know and what I've read, they are our enemy. Grumsh. And this would be the first time you heard as you were walking away as he mentioned Grumsh.
Mm.
They are enemies. And they will always be enemies.
There's a story that all of us had to study, and those that partook in the same academics that I did. It's about a blue dragon and a storm giant. They fought over a weapon because the weapon gave whoever controlled the dominion of the East. Eventually, when both kings' sons were killed in battle, the Storm Lord brought the weapon to the dragon. And what became a symbol of war ended up becoming a symbol of peace. they both realized that they lost too much, and what they were fighting for was never going to bring back what they lost. You don't need the spear. I don't think it's going to do anything for you. It's inscribed to say it's not going to do anything for you. Maybe, and I'm thinking, the reason why we're here wasn't to make sure that they didn't have it. It's just to make sure him, whatever that was, didn't have it. And I point to the prince. Maybe instead of putting it in the hands of war, you can put it in the hands of a guy who might have 2 more brain cells to put together than that one would have. Maybe you can help them protect themselves and they don't have to go after us.
I saw her dying. And if her death has anything to do with this spear, I need to bring it back to her. And this is nothing against what you're doing, Rao, or what he's saying. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm an oracle, and that's what I'm been tasked to do. I serve Cyanine. And no offense to you, I really don't give a shit about him.
Well, then it's good that you can stay up late at night, because we're going to be watching our backs twice now. And I'm going to walk away from her.
Okay. Sorry, Dakota. Yeah.
That was pretty spot on.
We'll say he's still here to fast track things a little bit. You're going to keep him tied up. You guys need to rest eventually.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Pepperlook, are you still standing over him?
I am.
Mark that you do have those 2 vials if you've retrieved
I'm
them.
physically
Okay, just want to make sure you have that.
Because he seems to be the biggest threat.
I'll give them Marceline. I'll keep my sheet just so the party still has it.
Okay, she has. Okay, she takes them from me. She's like, I'll look them over. Thank you, Unido. Okay, all right. Say something. Anything. Yeah. And she walks away. Are you camping in here, or are you going to get out?
I'm going to get a triangle between Pipalook, Roy, and myself. We got to make a decision this time, and this one is final. Are you killing him, or is he going?
You've spoken the truth of everything you've said today. And I would like to insight check whatever you said.
He says yes.
That's going to be, I believe, an 18.
Surprisingly enough, you believe every word he said.
He has been truthful.
Then we can't rest in here, because who knows, they might have backup. It's the prince's son. He's not going to wander too far without his dad realizing it. We can leave him here, but then we have to go. We can't rest right now. We have to put some distance between us and hopefully far enough away from what his tribe believe is worth following.
Leave him tied up, put a dagger in the corner, and we'll leave.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be dead anyway. Dear old dad finds this out. And you're the only survivor and his son's dead. Sorry, bud. You're hunted too. I say we just let him go. Sure, you want to come with us?
I don't want to be around her.
Valvar.
And he nods right in her direction.
I look back towards Villafera and kind of just assess what her attitude towards this all is.
So you see her kneel down. She's petting Navarre, and you can get that sense of, you see that side eye. She's trying to pretend that she doesn't care what the decision is made, but she is making sure she is monitoring every aspect of what you guys are doing.
Okay. I'm gonna take my focus and kind of cup his cheek and cast Toll the Dead on him.
Damn!
And kill him.
That is let me bring this up real quick,
It's a wisdom.
Yeah.
Ooh. Who does that?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not like it happened last episode.
14.
He saves.
And you hear the bell go off, and he reels back.
And I whip around.
Before that, do we realize that she tried to do something?
You heard it.
Yeah.
Did other people hear it, or is it just in their head?
Okay.
What does it say on the
I don't know. I mean, they hear me casting it, but they don't know
and
necessarily
we've seen
know.
her cast that spell before, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
are you doing?
I try to take a dagger and stab him, but
Okay.
it'll be a roll off.
I'm gonna just jump backwards.
I'm channeling divinity.
Oh.
Yeah. Vines come out and wrap around her. She needs to make either a strength, or he needs to make either a strength or dex save. It's your choice.
Versus what?
It's save, so it's not disadvantage.
Yeah.
Versus it's 12 for me.
Okay.
I'd like to roll sleight of hand.
What are you trying to do?
No,
Change my angle.
I'm
So
all
she's
tied
on the
up,
Okay. Yep.
What are you doing?
solving a problem that could become way bigger.
And you think
down
this
the
is
Are
your
you tangled
decision to
up?
make on?
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
I'm all
16.
You think this is your decision to make by yourself? That you can just take this in your own hands?
I think that
And in this instance, both of you here. Roll it.
Okay.
blow up
Yeah,
my
I mean it's gonna go
eardrums.
off either way.
18?
And you see penetrating in the head and gouts of blood spewing from this entity's head.
Now I got someone else's blood in my eye.
I just holster and go, shall we? I'm parched.
I still think
Apparently
we
it
should
wasn't
probably
just-
get someplace before we rest.
I agree.
Velafera walks past you. Good job. And she,
Marceline, you didn't get punched. I walked away.
there's still time, I'm sure.
The vines kind of just wither and drop.
Are you heading out?
Tupalik, understand one thing. We're not from where you're from. We don't have the same morals or beliefs or whatever it is that you got. Shit, I'm not a great dude. Honesty, I probably didn't want to kill him because I'm a little bit of a coward, but
It's not cowardice to not want to murder somebody.
it's cowardice not to make the hard decision.
He spoke the truth. He wouldn't have followed us.
Well,
That's not what I was
Consider-
worried about. If I can hear this conversation, I don't
Yeah,
know
I mean
if
they're
I
not
can.
whispering this. Yeah, this is.
I assume we're all kind of go around.
I was letting you guys are packing up and
Yeah.
beginning to head towards the exit.
I know I did an investigation check earlier, but can I see if he has any symbolism that matches?
On his shield, you can no roll, and on his shield is a very large symbol that is almost exactly the same.
Okay, I will take his shield then.
All right, you have his shield. Let's say you have a shield of Rumst.
And then when we pack it up in the cart, I'm gonna try to hide it properly somewhere. in the
Cover that
cart.
shit up.
Oh,
man.
it's okay. So you guys are, as you guys exit, as soon as you do exit,
Oh, no.
you do take no. Well, I mean, I gotta. You do take notice as soon as you come out of the hole. The temperatures dropped a little bit. It is a midday sun because you guys went in really early, and spent quite a bit of time down here. So it is. You are still have the day. It is the ground has hues of, we'll say, the little more dried and browns. It is a fall or a late fall, early winter type landscape. You move to the cart. You begin to load up the cart. You do see a bit of your breath. You have the cart loaded, and you're heading back to except for Unida. You head back to where you do have a day and a half to get back to the main road.
I'm not the one who steers. I don't know. I'll try to use my map that I made earlier from the cartography tools to estimate which direction we need to go.
Okay. Easily enough. I'm not going to have you guys roll too hard for that. You head and you begin to head back. Are you steering?
I am not. He can take the lead on this.
No. Yeah, there you go. Spicy. I like it. Are you sitting up front? Or are you in the back?
I'm in the back.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Who's sitting up front with Roy?
I'll sit up front with Roy, but mostly just like massaging where it hurts.
Natural 20. I'm gonna hit the 3-wheel motion for a little bit and then drop it down.
Vaceran drift.
We'll say you go. We'll say you manage for until dusk. You've traveled a good distance. You probably have about till midday the following day for you to be back to where you were
Can we short rest while we're just moving?
Yeah, absolutely. If you need to, with the exception of Mr. Kotor, who doesn't need to, everybody can take a short rest and roll your hit dice. Get back whatever spells and whatnot that you get from taking your short rest. I believe warlocks get your spells back on a short rest. Mystics are still a mystery to me. So.
Yeah, not a long rest.
Okay.
As we're moving too, I'd like to try and do my best to deviate our course here and there to sort of obscure our tracks. Like if I see any harder ground versus soft ground, I'm going to steer towards the harder ground. Less.
Absolutely. With a natural 20, you managed to navigate this fairly well, getting yourselves to a good point. I need because you're driving, I need you to roll me a survival check because you're going to stop and you're going to designate where you're going to stop at the camp.
Yeah, 5.
Looks good.
This soft pit of sand.
It's all sand spurs. It's just like just the area. It's all just sand spurs.
Fire ants.
Yeah, like this looks great.
That scene from the bad Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, don't do that. They were all good. They were all good movies. Anyway,
I lay down
moving forward,
like the worst place possible.
Yeah. So you've managed to stop. At this point, Marceline will say on the trip she did use her identify ritually, and she cast it on those 2 vials. They're for the group. I really can't hang on to these. Does anybody want these? She holds the brown, muddy, watered one. So this one helps you climb.
Unido, you found them, so I guess you should decide who gets them. That's what I did with the potions I found.
Careful with them, Unido. And she says the purple one, it would have came in handy earlier. That one will help you read minds.
Well, that's that.
And those you can pass those to whoever you need to.
Both in character and out of character, I'm gonna hold on until I figure it out. So you just see me as I keep trying to look back and forth.
3 more hours.
All night while you don't sleep.
Yeah.
As you hop out, are you preparing camp, or your decision? Because you kind of in a
Yeah, I look out and survey the lackluster campsite, and I just kind of sigh and I start pulling out the furs just to cover up the rough sand. But I'm very to myself and quiet. I'm thinking.
You hear me off to the side. I'm like, and Unido, there's no termites anywhere near you, specifically for you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You said establish a fire.
Yeah.
Establish a fire. You set up the alarm as well.
I'm gonna hold off on that until it gets a little bit later. But
Gotcha.
I will. Yeah.
The rest of you prepare for your night. I'll say Eric's. You pull out the Fate Keeper. Kind of flip through that. Velafera lays out her vestments and pets Navarre. Rao taking the time to what?
I want to talk to some people during all this.
Okay.
What do I know about the Raven Queen?
You're from Continuar. No, you want me a religion check?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. 17.
I mean, she is a celebrated deity within Mortos Lagos, and you've heard also in Opera Smarlitha, as well as Port Isgar, throughout the lands. She's honored. She is tasked those to make sure that the scourge of undead do not walk the lands.
Okay. And then I'm gonna talk to Eric's at this point.
Okay.
I'll do it in the guise of a card game, because I've been taught a little bit about from Roy, so I'm going to see if I can do any better.
So you approach Eric as he's flipping through a very finely made, bound leather book.
See, I need a distraction to take my mind off of everything we just did. You want to play some cards? I would ask Roy, but he just beats me every time, so...
I mean, sure. I suppose that might be interesting. Before I do that, may I send Rael on a perimeter check?
Flies out.
I'm no longer poisoned, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so he flies up, my eyes...
We'll send you, and you send him before this, during dusk, so you don't have to roll it.
as you're setting up the
Yeah, the
the
cards.
cards.
It's rummy.
Go fish.
Something simple.
17.
Does a quick perimeter pass. Takes no notice of anything moving. No wagons, no foot traffic, nothing.
So you Eric's just sitting there, but he's like, you're talking, and he's just not paying attention. He said yes, but then did that, and then Rael kind of flaps back down and kind of.
As he flaps and the wind flutters, I reset the cards that got pushed by the wings. I say, there's a little rule that they kind of teach everyone in super young history class, and that's history goes to the victors. Your lady's pretty popular down south, but you seem to have gotten in some trouble. Well, before I go anything, did you tell us that you ran, or no?
No.
Okay, so never
I
mind.
told you any of that.
So, but what are your temples up north and whatnot, in Valstaff? Also, would I know that Valstaff is specifically stone country only?
Roll me a religion check.
Stone country. Bunch of stoners up there.
4.
You have no idea what happened in Valstaff.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
All right.
Colorado.
You were there briefly,
It's
very
different.
briefly, but you do not know what they. And you, you're not an overly religious person yourself, so
Okay.
you weren't stopped at any point.
Yeah, I only study religion academically, so what are your temples in Valstaff for the Raven Queen?
He is making dead eye contact with you and blinks a couple times, and it's really weird because the eyes shift and they're kind of cloudy and they shift back to normal, black on the left and white on the right. She didn't really have a presence in Falstaff at all. Do you know much about their penchants for a singular deity?
I mean, I got a aunt and uncle that live up there. I was supposed to go that way, but other than dungeon and tomb diving, I don't really hang out in cities that much outside of, Sarama.
So Falstaff is exclusively loyal to the Timeless?
No idea.
No.
That sounds pretty cool. The Timeless, that's a dope name.
Yeah, it's great.
Base insight. It's not that great.
That's a base into the 9.
You still get my drift. So the Amber Disc is their only religion. They're very fiercely, I think we talked about it for a second. They won't stone you through the streets if you follow another religion, but you don't actively want to let them know. And they'll find other ways to subjugate you and outcast you. But I was more in a temple in Port Mehedi, around 18 or so. They're quiet temples, beautiful, but
Quiet. It's kind of caught me by surprise when you tried to ring that guy's bell real quick.
Look at this photograph. Sorry.
It would have been a problem down the line, I believe, for us to have a loose end like that,
I mean, I get it. Orcs are scary. One of my closest friends used to bully me when we were 10. Yeah.
Your closest friend used to bully you?
Well, people grow up and change, and he chilled out when some things. It's personal for him. You might meet him one day. He's a really nice guy now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know they're scary, but at the same time,
It didn't really have much to do with his race. It had more to do with, he said that they came there against the wishes of their king and not necessarily to the knowledge of their king. So if we let him live, he could have gone back to his king to inform on us.
Well, I don't really know much about their king, but the king where I'm from is a pretty level-headed guy. He might have just accepted his son's foolishness as foolishness.
That's possible. I mean, it's not necessarily a typical thing for... Do I know a lot about different rulers in different places of the country? Like different monarchs, so to speak, or being
history check.
more or less benevolent?
1. You know Valstaff.
Cool.
When it comes to the leaders, you would know Valstaff. And we'll say what you know of Mayor Hetty is very minimal on their ruling class.
In my experience, there's a point that...
Because you're rolling trash today, I just want to point that out.
Yeah, Wonder Twins over here. Wonder Twins.
There it is. Unbelievable.
That's payback. That's payback.
No, that's great.
Thank you. From my experience, there's a point where a monarch might be benevolent, but oftentimes it's better to be safe than sorry later on. And I didn't want to sit there and keep battling over it between ourselves. It just needed to happen, and clearly I didn't do well enough. I was sitting there poisoned, but...
So at this point you hear Marceline kind of speak up in the background. She looks, you just kind of see her standing stoically looking northward, and she says, "It's going to get cold tonight. We need to get this fire going. It's going to get really cold tonight."
I'll leave Eric's with one last thing, and I'll say, you did what you thought was right. That's all any of us could do. I just know that Bellafera's portrayal of her goddess is a lot more picture perfect than what she wants to admit.
Everyone's going to have a better opinion of their deity because that's who they follow, that's who they answer to, and they want to portray the best of that deity.
That's true.
People hate the Raven Queen. People are terrified of her. She's in charge of fate and death and winter. Those are all things that not all these people enjoy. But...
That's true. That's kind of why I follow my gut before I follow a star.
And I respect that.
Just, I don't know. I'm just worried I'm making wrong decisions left and right here. Everything was a lot simpler a couple months ago.
It's our job as mortals to second guess ourselves.
True.
I bust in.
Oh,
and
okay.
I start staring at the last one just for a good bit. So.
Okay. Is there anything else that needs to be done before you take your watches?
Did I meet him at cards?
Honestly, I don't think you guys played cards.
No, I don't think we did. I think we started playing cards and then this never happened.
Ask to borrow your, can I borrow your chess set for a moment?
Oh yeah, here.
I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna walk over to Pippa Luke. Would you like to learn how to play this if you hadn't already?
We played a game, Rao and I, on the first night. I think I remember the basics.
Will you indulge?
Yes.
I'll sit down.
I get next to you too. I kind of.
Thank you.
I'll start setting up
Thank
the game
you.
pieces and everything, and
Okay, roll me intelligence checks, both of you.
straight
Where
intelligence.
the hell did my D20? Did you take my D20?
I did not.
That's right there. That's under your
Intelligence.
I'm
This
so
is
you're
gonna
being
be
innocent.
13.
13. What you got?
14.
14. It's a close game. Very close. You're really surprised that only playing once, she has taken it. Yeah, almost matching you at playing it, learning at a very young age how to play. She has very much caught you off guard.
I can see by your movements here that you are not new to strategy and cause and effect and feints and all that.
I'm not naive, Roy. I understand what your motivation was.
I just wanted to make sure that we were clear, that's all.
For me, sacrifice is only when it's truly necessary and not as a precaution against perhaps some negative outcome. But what you did last night was, or did earlier today, was not necessary. It was a precaution. Life should never be taken for a precaution.
I have a weird sense of looking at it. The moment you don't consider it to be necessary is the moment it becomes necessary. Had we killed the doppelganger, A, Marceline wouldn't have been punched, but B, we wouldn't have to be looking over our shoulders for something that we don't even know what they look like. We wouldn't have to worry about Dovavar being stabbed in the middle of the night, this very night, possibly, we don't know. Some of that's on me. But generally speaking, it's something that if you're not prepared, then every move you make is a necessity. Does that make sense?
It does. I would just suggest that perhaps we curb our own actions so that we take as little life as we need to.
Hopefully we don't have to make too many more of these decisions.
But it was a good game. I enjoyed playing.
You almost got me.
Real quick, I'll just take off the ring that I wear, and I'm gonna give it to Marceline, and I'll say, "Hey, you can wear this for the night. It'll keep you warm, so you don't have to worry about whatever this is."
It's just a storm. It'll pass, but she holds out her hand.
And I handed it to her, and I was like, "Sleep well," when I walk off.
Thank you.
And after the game, I will set up the alarm and I will build up the fire.
Okay. Build up the fire, set up the alarm. Who's taking watches?
One of them.
Who's
I'll
taking
take-
First watch?
I'll be one of the people to do first. But
Yeah, me too. I've been driving all day.
Rao and Roy. Who's taking second?
I'll take second.
Okay, we got Eric's.
I'm kind of taking all three.
Yeah, we got Unido down the line here.
I'll
So
take third watch.
Pip, Velafair is going to sleep. She is.
Had a long day.
Well, she can't sleep.
Has to heal her face.
Well, she's going to go into her trance-like state.
Wow.
She is going to rest.
Heard Dakota react to that.
Somebody's going
Yeah, that is not going to be permanent.
Rao and Roy, roll me perception checks.
I'm gonna ask Roy one question.
Regular
while we're
or
doing
this?
You at disadvantage because it's dark.
18.
Anything?
21.
21. You guys look out. Nothing catches your interest, your mind. 21. You will say, for a brief second, you think you may have saw something moving. You presume, as you go back into your minds, you remember Gorn mentioning possibly displacer beasts in the area. The fire is roaring right now. They are keeping their distance. So,
Just in case.
yeah. Yeah. You hold up the pistol. Looking through the reflection, you see the fire. You see everyone's kind of resting. You see Vera Lafair in her trance.
So invisible guy clinging on the Unido and going like this to his brain, making him act funny.
But your watch goes by uneventful. You would take notice with the displacer beast as you prepare to go to sleep. You would take an extra log and throw on the fire to keep that fire going. As you do take notice, as the sun has set, the temperature has dropped substantially, and the wind has picked up very, very much so.
Obviously, I'll relay to the next person and watch about the giant cat of death roaming
It would be
around.
Unido the whole time is kind of just there. You wake Eric's up for the second watch, and Unido still sits or stands.
Violent waker.
Yeah.
Eric's, you can roll me, yeah.
I can roll this.
You can roll as well. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting about you. It's not on purpose. It's just because I know you're always kind of present. So.
Yeah. 8.
8. Okay. What you got there, Eric's? 14. Very much so. You do take notice of something moving in the distance, but it's definitely keeping its distance as the fire still rages on. You unaffected really by the cold right now, but you do keep the fire maintained. It's at this point, while you are taking watch, excuse me, Rao.
Oh no. Oh no.
You do not have your ring on. It is cold. You bundle up. As you sleep and as you dream very deep. The cold wind whips past your face as your eyes squint ever so hard to see through so much debris. You hear a voice call out to you, a very familiar voice. She says, "Is this it? Is this where we need to be?" And you look back and you see Vaceran standing there. She looks a little different. You see her wearing a silvered veil, a silver and beaded shroud veil that goes down across her face. You can see her eyes, but the rest just hangs down in front of her, almost like armor, or like a chain. But you can see all of her beautiful features within. Standing behind her, you do take notice of the rest of the group. You see Roy. You do not see Roy's face, but you do see on his head some sort of leather shroud that comes all the way down, and this tiny little area of black that lifts up, and you can see his eyes kind of peering about. Just past that, you see Pipalook wearing a mask that looks like it's carved to look like a bear, with blues and salmon colors around it, standing there, staff in hand, braving the winds that are whipping through. You see Unido with a scarf that's wrapped very almost loosely around his head and whipping in the wind, and it has all these different eyes that are embroidered onto it of all these different races. You see Eric's with a half porcelain mask that covers the face, exposing the mouth, and goes almost into this lattice type form that looks like entwined branches, and they all look towards you. And as your head swings back and you're about to proclaim that you don't know if this is the right spot, you see yourself. You see what appears to be the morbid, decayed version of yourself. To its side, a blade very much like yours. The corpse approaches you, moaning and raising its hand. You don't flinch as it reaches out and places its hand directly on your shoulder. You don't flinch. The blades simultaneously pulse at the same time. I guess that's what simultaneously means. They pulse at the same time, and they begin to absorb all the light in the area in rapid succession. The pain is overwhelming. Eric's, you hear him scream himself awake. And that's where we're going to take a break. Welcome back. We got all of our restroom stuff out of the way.
Most of it.
Most of it. We'll let you know. It's touch and go. It's a slippery slope. Anyway, we're going to jump back into the game here. Where we left off was very weird for one Ronald Rousseau. As he woke from his slumber very abruptly, and Eric's, you take notice, Unido as well, as you see him rise up and he is out of breath in this very now cold night.
Did he scream? Did you scream?
He did.
Yeah. I'm like feeling where the parts would have been bone or decayed. I'm just trying to feel myself to see if my skin is still there or not.
Yeah, you feel around, and yes, you are still very much there.
I think reflexively, Eric's would have accidentally set off an Eldritch Blast just off into the forest.
Okay.
Take that, Displacer Beams.
Yeah, shoots off in the distance. Traveling.
And I'm gonna.
You good?
I don't know. I think no.
Hey, I get down next to him and put a hand on his shoulder.
I'm gonna do a.
You're okay.
Kind of yoga, kind of calm me down, kind of effect, and all of a sudden the three of us all have a comforting aura around us.
Ooh,
So-
I need that.
Nice advantage, but you do feel a sense of a wave of comfort head over for you for.
And I like to
Few
think
seconds.
that too when you do these things, the image that's behind you, that little triangle, kind of
Apparate.
That's the word. Apparates in front of you and just disappears, and you all feel happy, good.
This one's comfort,
Yes.
so you're not just for a few seconds, and then you can continue.
I'm good. I'm good. It's just kind of cold in here. Out of here. And I'm gonna. Are you good? Are you okay?
I'm all right.
And also, you see the silhouette of
startled?
Eric's as they stand in front of the fire, between you and the fire. So you just see the very tall tiefling Impala-like horns as they're comforting you.
Must have been something I ate. I'm good. I'm good though. And I'm going to cast light on a pen and try to find some ink and start to write letters to some friends.
Okay. So you take the opportunity.
For like 10 minutes and
10
then
minutes. Okay. You start to write out some notes. Eric's and Unido, you finish your watch. Hippaluk is woken for hers. Unido, you're still up. As you see, as Hippaluk is awoken for her watch.
How cold is it when I wake up?
It is very brisk. It's not for you. Nothing.
Okay.
It's a Florida winter. You're like, oh, this is piff.
Right.
Yeah, but you could still sense that. Yeah, the way the wind is whistling, the whipping through, it's pretty cold. For those that aren't used to it, this has got to be pretty cold. The wind chill is pretty good.
Okay. Then I will, once Eric's is settled and sleeping, I will walk over to Unido and kind of look at his blank face.
Standing there looking out, are you just staring out into nothingness, or to the surrounding area?
This time would be the party, so yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of you're looking at towards the party.
Yeah.
As you approach, you just see kind of a lacquered like form that is reflective now with the flame that is behind you.
I know you spoke to me earlier. I didn't imagine it. Why won't you do it again? I don't understand what that means. Do you need to be given words?
Then I physically shrug my shoulders
And I sigh and I turn around and I just look out to like the surrounding area to just start my watch and keep an eye out for
Second check at disadvantage because you're a human.
I also have disadvantage.
Yep.
That's not good. Cool. That's gonna be that's gonna be an 8.
11.
That's the alarm spell.
Ding, 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 ding.
Displacer beast. It's playing with the
And it's a
keys.
janitor too!
It's just batting at the keys. No, you two take notice of nothing. You have no idea what may be beyond the reaches of what the light that's giving off, but nothing catches your attention.
Just answer. It doesn't seem to want to answer anymore, so I'm just gonna keep up watch.
I get up from us next to you. I'm gonna go on the other side of camp. Before I do, I tip my hat off, bow, put it back on, and I walk off. Can you roll a investigation check?
Yeah, I want to see what that was about.
From an insight check.
Oh, that too. That's good.
That's gonna be a
inspiration.
A 4?
You do have inspiration.
4. I will use it. Yeah.
It's gonna be a 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a 1.
Oh, cool. 19.
19. What is it that you're conveying to Pipalook with the tip of the hat?
You see the patch that was stored down there just fall to the ground.
The municipal design and civil charity patch, or something else?
That, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then I walk away.
I go over and pick it up. What is this?
And, yeah.
And I just store it.
It was a 19?
Yeah.
You see the words of the veil. That's the only thing that... You see the municipal whatever?
Yeah.
You see the veil.
The veil.
And you know about the veil. You almost went into that city before one Dovar Van Born stopped you and said, you don't want to go in there. Here, I'll take you with me, if that's fine. So, the morning occurs, sun crests the sky, and you all wake. As the fire has dimmed down, you all look about. We'll say Pipalook, even Roy, you do take notice of like excrement on the outskirts of your campsite. You presume that something did get rather close, but did not break your alarm spell.
See, it's the Sanskrit. They don't want to come anywhere.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah. Meanwhile, like Eric's is like, yep.
It's just all in my waist length
There
hair.
you go. Bellafair's
Boy.
yes, great
Yep.
spot, Mr. Kotor.
No termites.
Pack up
just
the,
like a tooth.
you do pack up the wagon, get all of your gear on, and get the horses prepared.
You will notice I am looking for something around the area as well, but not seem to be able to find it.
Okay. Unido looks lost, which is weird because it has not looked like this since you've known it.
You know what I picture right now? You know the Bad Robot intro? The beginning of it? Yeah.
I realized I left my dinner fork in the old location. So
Yeah.
Old chair and barrel. Anyway, you guys pack the wagon up and you prepare to head out. Taking the better part of this morning, you do manage and you make your way back to the main. It's not a road so much as just it is a designated path that travels from these two connects these two provinces together. You do make your way south. And with that, I would suggest, unless there was anything that needed to be done, I believe Mr. Rosal, you wanted to make a few rolls on some...
Yes, I'm currently at 5 hours of deception training and 6 hours of insight training.
Okay, so I would say for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
I think the rule
pass.
thing I read, I can only do a max of 1 hour a day for each skill.
And we'll say 7 days pass, uneventful. You guys take your watches as such. Read through your books, commune with your deities, whichever that you feel is necessary to do. If you want to knock out. Give me 3 good rolls.
Okay.
Quick question.
Per skill or only one skill? Or
How many skills are you working on here?
2.
All right. So
We can only do an hour of each.
how many days are you working on?
Every single day.
Every single. Then roll me 3 skill checks for 3 different for the both of them.
Okay. For the deception, it was a 16, a 7, and a 2.
Okay, the 16 is successful. The 7 and the 2, you just keep thinking about that dream.
Okay.
Over and over again. And now for your
insight. 16, 2, and 15.
Yeah, 2 out of 3. You managed to stifle whatever thoughts you had about, again, your very vivid dream you had the previous nights. Mr. Kotor, is there anything you wanted to accomplish in your trek?
Do I need a full workshop to be able to complete ammunition? I know I can cast the bullets and stuff. But
Yeah.
the capping, is that something I can do on site? Or?
Give me a tinkering check. Give me 1 solid tinkering check. Yeah, you look. I mean, you make an attempt of it, and you see him at one night. He's around the fire, and he's kind of packing gunpowder, and boom, and he puts out the fire, and you guys all collectively get the wood, and get the wood sitting there trying to get the fire going again. You just.
I'll wait.
Your mutton chops are like plastered back.
That's gonna take a few days to grow back.
Oh.
We will say 7 days pass.
I would also like to work on my armor.
Ah.
How many hours of either would have been successful? And how many failed?
1 for the deception. No, sorry, 2 for the deception, and 4 for the the insight. Roll me.
I'll assist her in any way I can.
You will assist. There's only so much. We'll say. Give me a survival roll.
Okay.
At advantage, but you know after this roll, there's only so much you can do without a proper smithing set.
Okay. So...
It's right there on 20.
I know. So it's gonna be the 15 plus 6, so 21.
21. All right, you managed to cut this thing down, form in very much around you, the back, the front. You know that you would need to again, you need to have a proper smithing, we'll say oven, kiln, etc., to finish the process.
Okay.
But you have it. You have all the pieces set. You just need the that little bit extra to bind it all together. So 7 days pass. You have entered the month of Ricult, which in real life would be November. The morning of Templadia. Ral, you wake up. You know exactly what today is. You all see this, and Velafera stops and notices you, and she almost follows suit as soon as she sees what you do. You step out, you clear a path, a little landing for yourself. You pull from your bag. It almost looks like a tattered piece of cloth. If you'd like to roll perception checks, I can tell you what it might be to you.
9.
4.
Okay.
19.
19.
I still got soot in my eyes.
Okay. 19. It looks like a banner, or a part of a banner. Ral drops to his knees. He lays this banner in front of him, and he looks out to the east. Belafera sees this, and she does suit. She motions towards Navarre to stay, and she goes and she sits next to him, and she pulls out a similar banner, different in color, but very much a piece of. And she lays it in front of herself, and they simultaneously look out, and they begin to recite something in their native. It's a common language. It's native to them, specifically. They pull out a dagger, both of them, and they raise up their hands, and they swipe it across their hands, and they drop their blood directly on the banner. Today is Embertide. Today is Remembrance Day, and you will remember every fallen hero that fought in the battles against the Vermilion Empire and all the enemies of. And you sit there, and you watch them do this. This is a 30-minute where they drop the blood, and they not pray, they just have their moment of silence.
Just watch this curious and shoot Roy, who's not doing it, an odd glance. But I don't interrupt their silence. And Eric's who's not doing it.
Time passes. They both stand up. They look to one another. The Belfair nods to you. There is no words said. You guys, you very much know what and why you did what you did. You collect your banners. You tuck them away into your bags. Wrap a bit of bandage on your... Actually, Belfair would look to you. She would heal yourself, and she would heal you to make sure that the wounds are closed. They turn back around, look at you, as nothing had happened.
Right.
Not say anything.
I just can't say
What's
anything.
up?
We should go. We have a long day ahead of us. And Belafera walks towards the wagon and collects Navarre and heads towards the wagon.
I'm starting to get a little homesick, so yeah, let's keep at it.
I want to walk alongside Raoul and say, I knew that Vaceran used a lot of blood magic in her works, but I wasn't familiar you did as well.
It's not magic. That's just a custom.
A custom?
Yeah, it's let's just say where I'm from doesn't have the most peaceful history.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, it's fine. It's mostly old history. I wasn't even alive for most of it, but it's still important to remember some things.
I'm glad you keep the traditions of your elders close to your heart.
Not all of them, but some are more important than the others.
Okay. Indeed. It's at this point in the travel. Are you up front with Roy, or are you still pissy at him?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
We had a good talk.
So you guys collectively navigate, and I'm not going to have you guys make rolls. You have got the horses now. You are on. As much time you spent with these horses, you have developed this connection. We'll say, as you do, you take notice now that you have entered into the Nadrian province. In the distance, the far distance, because of its immense size, you see the Emerald Forest. Very much, you're a great distance away from it, but because it is as large as it is, it covers the land. You begin, and this is as soon as you enter Nadrian, that's when you actually begin to see more structured roads, and you make your way off this unbeaten path to very much a cobbled, loosely cobbled bit of road, and you are within. I would say this day, Roy and Pipalook, as you are riding, steering, Vaceran does pause in the back. And she makes reference to you, Raoul. She says, my brother, he is of the Academy. That is why I honor. And I honor him as I honored those who had fallen before. You honor who?
For such a small guy, I actually have a lot of military family. Most of it's on my mom's side, but apparently grandfather upon grandfather upon grandfather have a small taste for war.
We have lost many to the Sun Elves, and we will lose more, I'm sure. And she just nods to you in acceptance of understanding now that she knows who you're honoring. So, more or less, she doesn't think you're just calling bullshit. You know, I celebrate the 4th of July. Cinco de Mayo.
I was gonna say.
I get drunk on Cinco de Mayo. No. Anyway.
Stands for 5 sheets, don't it?
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Kotor and Pipalook, as you were steering this wagon, Roy, you do take notice over, just over a small ridge, you see a single horse walking away from you. Gray, with white spots that pepper down the rear of it. As soon as you move your head in that direction, Pipalook, you do take notice of it as well. From perceptions, please, as the rest of you are in the back and are not able to take notice.
I'm gonna look through my spyglass to try to get a better look at it.
After that night where I let Marceline borrow the ring, I took the ring.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got it.
15.
15? What you got?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. The horse is walking away from you. It seems walking at a very slow pace. And off to the side, there's something hanging off of it. You just see a bundle of something. You see a body. Still saddled, and very much dragging on the ground now.
That horse has a dingleberry.
Everybody in the wagon hears that horse has a dingleberry.
How far off is it?
Velafair just stops. She's like, this tree is rather crude. How far away?
Yeah.
We'll say within about 100 feet.
Can you pull up closer? I'd like to see what's going on.
Sure, can you calm the horse as we get closer?
Of course.
Animal handling.
Yep.
Of course.
What's that? What's that?
A horse is a horse.
Really? Somebody needs a nap.
Yeah, what am I doing? What am I rolling for?
You're not.
I'm just driving.
She's rolling animal handling.
All right, cool.
You're steering the wagon.
Driving is
close.
10.
Yes.
Mod 20.
Mod 20? Okay, we're good. And as soon as you get close, that's when you see, peppered in the back, spears and arrows in the back of this individual that is just hitting.
Oh, not the
ground.
horse.
No. Actually, the horse does have 1 or 2 arrows just in the hindquarters, but it's still walking. And, still walking. As you guys feel the wagon kind of shift over, you're not sure. You understand that you believe that they have it under control, but the wagon does begin to start to maybe come off onto the shoulder a little bit.
I'm going to jump out the side of the wagon, and I'd like to come up alongside the horse.
All right, you leap out easily enough.
So the wagon makes a stop.
It's slowing.
Hey, Valifera could probably use your help up here.
You have to stop the wagon first.
Working on. I'm gonna kind of go in front of the other horse and
All right, you
pull him over.
All right, so Pipalook, you run up as Roy is positioning, and the horse does begin to stop. But it does reel back a little bit as it's taking notice of its surroundings.
I'll try to calm it down and grab the
Roll me
reins
another
and
animal
settle.
handling check, yeah.
It's gonna be better.
Don't get kicked.
I'll help Velafera and Marceline out with the
Not better.
carriage.
It's gonna be a 7.
7. You put your hands on the side. You grab the reins. It's tugging. If it weren't as weak as it was, it would probably have pulled you to the ground. It is very weak, and you're wondering. You're curious at how it's still even walking, but you've stopped it at this point. You're still trying to. Okay, all right, and the wagon has stopped in the back. So the rest of you, Velafera, hearing her name, approaches. She calls towards Navarre, and Navarre jumps out, and she slowly steps down the little stairs that are at the rear of the wagon.
I'll help her and Marceline get out of the wagon.
Okay. Yeah. They both jump out of the wagon. Are you coming out as well? Unido exits.
Yeah, I'll exit.
Okay. And you all pepper out. And as soon as you come around the corner is when you see this horse, Pipalook holding it, and this body that is face down, drug on the ground, and it has spears and arrows, at least 6. 3 spears, 3 arrows that are peppered in its back, and 2 arrows punctured on the right-hand side of this horse.
Is this a good place to be stopping?
I'll take a cursory look around and see if there's any sign of this being an ambush situation.
Perception check, yes.
Can I look with her?
You can roll at advantage. Actually, yeah, well, you would, yeah, but we'll say you don't have to use it if he's,
Okay.
But it's fine. Advantage.
Cool. It's gonna be a 6.
6, okay, you probably should have used it. As soon as you look about, both of you kind of maybe got the blade out, or at least your hand on the hilt, looking about. Take nothing, notice of nothing in the vicinity. Mr. Couture, you've got the horse pulled back. Reins are tied off a little bit, and
no, I'm gonna stay on the.
Okay, you stay
I'm
on.
gonna wait and.
Get away.
Oh yeah, I'm the getaway driver right now, but I'll keep cursory looks around since I got it elevated.
Okay. Her perception.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's collective, but what you got, Eric?
Can I send Rael?
Send Rael out, and your eyes invert.
Madrine's where Valstaff is, right?
Madrine it's Cariad and Valstaff and Merhedi, and it is
All
where
fun times.
you are home essentially.
Okay.
Yes. Unido, what would you like to do in this instance? As you see the raven shoot up into the air, Rao and Pipalook are kind of fanning out into some sort of perimeter, and Roy on the wagon kind of looking out, maybe hand on his weapon, and you just see Eric's looking
I'm gonna
looking out.
take off my hat. I'm gonna use a pneumatic anchor on it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep it in the cart.
Okay.
But then just be prepared around the area.
Okay. And we'll say it is midday. The sun, there's overcast in the sky, so it's not hot. It's very cool right now. There's no sun in the sky. It's a very cloudy day. Velafera kneels towards this body, and you are
16 to make a perimeter.
16. 16. What you do notice, it seems about... How far out can he go?
He can go.
Shoot. It's like 100 feet, right?
Yeah, I
think
thought it was
so.
something like that.
Before
While
you
she's doing
lose,
that.
before you
100
lose
feet.
vision.
Okay. Nothing of note. You see nothing walking. You see nothing that is in the area at 100 feet.
So this individual that was being dragged by the horse, is he the only person here, or does it seem like there was like a battle that recently happened in this area?
Perception check.
While they're doing
Or
this,
investigation check. You're doing a sleuthing.
I'd like to just pet his nose and then lay on hands for 5 points of healing as I do that.
Okay, 5 points of healing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude.
You do heal it up. It does still have the arrows in its hindquarters off to the side, but you do heal it up. It feels a little bit more. It stops pulling back as much, and it's kind of leaning forward, and it actually presses its head into yours.
And to Belafera, I'll ask, is he alive?
He is a she. This is a woman, and no, it is not a. She is not alive, and Belafera will take.
I'll help, but she's trying to take her up.
Thank you, because I rolled crap. And she pulls the body over, and you see, draped across the front of her, you see this green sash. You recognize this as an Emerald Guard. You see this woman with the sash across her, fully armored, still still has her sword in her sheath, and the armor looks very fine and very battle hardened. The face, unfortunately, is from running across the rocks for as long as it has, is definitely mangled. Belafera does take notice as the breastplate armor is cut in the form that would represent it being a female. But the sash comes across, pinned, and Eric's, if you can roll me a history check.
I rolled a 1 on the perception check, by the way.
For, to see if there was a battle. Yeah, you're looking about. Nothing is suggesting to you that there was any kind of other battle out here.
14.
14. What you see on the insignia, almost like a police officer's badge, it tells you exactly where they are stationed. This is a symbol of the Cariad force. It's a pin that pins and holds the sash in place.
I'll take the pin and remove it and kind of hold it up. And she was from Cariad.
And with your 14, you do notice a satchel off the side. There are a few scrolls or pieces of paper that you're surprised none of them have. You assume that some have fallen out, but there are still a decent portion that are still within.
How far are we from Carrie at this point? Like, is she like super far away from them, or is she like vicinity-wise?
We still have at least 15
You are
days.
at least 10 days away from Cariad.
Pipluke, those spears and arrows, what kind of make are they? They look finely made, or?
I'll walk around and give them a look, see how they've been made, if they're handmade, or if they look like they've been
Roll me a survival
mass
check.
produced. Mod 20?
They are handmade, and you do not recognize who made them. Actually, there are markings on here that they are already foreign to you, as you are a child of the North. You do not recognize these at all.
I can rule out Orcish, though.
Yes, 100%.
Alright. Not orcs, but besides that, I'm not sure. They're handmade, at least.
Are they finely made?
No, crude. You wouldn't attach the heads like that. That'll show, like, how it's crudely made.
As she points out to you, you do see bits of fur of animals that you do not recognize. As she points out to you, you recognize the fur of the animals that is attached to these. It almost looks feline.
Attached to them?
As in a decoration.
Ooh. Can I roll a history check to know if there's any regional enemies of,
You can roll me a history check, yeah.
you know?
Oh, keep it in the box.
Can't do the drop technique.
What you got?
History! It's a 23.
As far as you know, any regional enemy to what specifically?
Tabaxi.
Not on this continent.
But I do know of one.
Yes. You've read stories, and you've heard tales in taverns by the Tabaxi that hail from your town specifically. But on this continent, they have no natural enemy.
Okay, what's the enemy though? That I would know.
23?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Oh, okay.
You just know
Said
that they do have a natural enemy, but it is not on this continent.
Besides me.
We'll see, buddy.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to the front of the horse and put my hands on either side of his face and like tip my forehead to his like nose thing.
Yes.
And
You know, it's funny too, because if Dakota were here right now, she'd be like, this bitch. Like Dakota like loves fucking horses too. She'd just be like, what are you doing to me, bro? What are you doing? No, go ahead. What are you, his snout or whatever, yes.
and I'll ask him, what did you see? And I like to cast Speak with Animals.
That is amazing.
You cast Speak with Animals.
Yes.
Just want to make sure we all rolled a bunch of ones before she did that.
Well,
You
can do
hear,
it for everybody.
You hear in your mind speaking to you, and you would actually, all of you see, yes, all of you do see Pipaloot kind of let out this deep guttural kind of like
Do it.
exactly, and the horse
What's her name?
makes a similar noise back, and it says it conveys to you that we were attacked just outside the forest. We were attacked. Dogs. They walk.
How close?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'll ask Eric's. How close is the most northern city? Like, how far away from being inside walls?
How far are we away from being inside walls?
210 day.
210 day?
Well,
Carriot's the
technically,
closest.
sorry, 3 days less. The closest place to you right now. Actually, roll me a history check.
Did you relay this to us?
I will in a second.
8. You're not sure. You know that there are several little like villages and hamlets, very similar to where you came from, Claythorpe, but like city, 210 days.
The closest city walls is Cariat.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're a little
Defenseless?
out in the open. Can I go through her bag?
You can. Investigation check.
Were you going to your home or leaving it?
I'm gonna help Eric's, and I'm gonna Eldritch Sight the bag while she.
Okay. You Eldritch Sight the bag as okay. If you're help, you can roll an advantage as he's Eldritch Sighting as you're pulling out. As you ask this question, let me get this roll resolved before we go any further.
17.
17. You see several scrolls. One piece of paper folded very delicately, and then you see scrolls that have the symbol of the Emerald Guard. You see another one that has another symbol. And because I'm a tarot DM, what is the Order of the Fury symbol?
It is a broken mirror.
You see a symbol that is a broken mirror, and I'm so sorry. I thought I had that written down as a note. You see a broken mirror on this crest, and the crest, the seal has been broken itself, but you make out this broken mirror symbol.
This bag seems like a satchel.
It is a satchel.
You
detect with your Eldritch Sight. Sight, yeah, I said that right?
Yeah.
Look at me. You detect nothing magical.
Okay. Can I put? I think I might be rushing things, but putting two and two together, with those scrolls, they're not anything magic. She might have just been a messenger of some sort.
You're probably right. We should still probably get out of the open here immediately.
I want to have been taking arrows out of her
Okay.
body.
Give me a strength check.
It's not bad. It's a 9.
9. Velifera leans the body over for you as you do this. It's very morbid. It's very you. Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah. And it's funny too because Velifera's she's fine with it too. The rest of you that are walking about, you can hear it just like ripping from.
I have gently taken the bag off before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the bag was pulled out. You guys were laying this stuff out.
It is just like whoa.
Your question. Sorry, and I want to get back to your question. We were going home.
Where were you coming from?
The forest.
And where would you like to go?
Roll me an insight check.
Yep. This horse is a fucking liar.
Can't look the horse in the face.
With 11.
11. You get the immediate sense of despair, and you hear the words home.
We can take you home. And I will relay, because I've just been neighing at a horse this whole time. I'll relay what he told me.
He leans into you hard.
And I just stroke him. They were attacked by dogs on 2 legs. Something from the forest.
Can I do dogs on 2 legs check?
You can roll me a nature check.
Ooh, okay.
Dogs on 2 legs check.
Oh, that's a 3. 3.
You do not recognize what she's referring to.
Lords of Dogtown.
I'm not familiar with these creatures, but they were returning from the forest back to their home.
It makes sense because there's tabaxi pelts on the spear.
Tabaxi,
I'm also looking too.
You know your polar bears?
yes.
Yes, but cats.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
Can I do a cat roll?
Except for
About the tabaxis?
Yeah.
You can roll me a history check on tabaxi. Yeah.
It's almost a natural 20. That's a 4.
4. We'll say you've heard the term. You're not familiar where they hail from. Yes.
Don't they drive you places?
Didn't I give you like a historian? You should have like high numbers in that.
Yeah, but you told me when we were doing this was specifically when it's relating to giants.
Ooh. I'm a terrible DM. Anyway. So, you have this body. You have these papers,
Yeah, I'll have
scrolls.
gotten back up into the carriage and started reading them.
And you do take knowledge that this is a sergeant in the arms of the Emerald Guard. She is wearing her rank. Yes.
What is Felifera motioning with the body? Is she motioning to take it with us? Is she motioning to bury it, or just is she gonna seem like she leaving
It's
it?
Velifera would say, I need to help her. I need to help her pass on. She cannot come back. I cannot allow this. And she looks to you. She's Eric. We cannot allow this.
I grab one arm to help lift her or whatever.
Maybe we should.
Thank you, Unido. Roll me a strength check at advantage. I'm not rolling for her. She ain't here.
I'm gonna help him too.
we need to get somewhere safe.
15.
Okay, yes, you managed to pick her with the legs being held, and you get the body over to. Eventually, you do unhook the leg. Unfortunately, when you pull it, you realize the leg had twisted and broken from being drugged that long. But you do eventually get the leg and pulled up, and you get the body now covered. Villafera does take the opportunity to take whatever scraps of burlap or whatever's in the back of the cart, and she at least honors the body.
Maybe we can take her. I know it's kind of far for whatever the rate the body decays, but maybe we should take her back to her family. Especially.
Do you know where her family is?
The badge said carry it.
We are heading there. Yes, we should do that.
The
Do we know
horse-
who her family is?
The horse will take us to its home, and they will know where she belongs.
It's a better plan than what I was thinking.
Um,
And I'd like to tell the horse that I'm going to take out the arrows and it's going to hurt.
Okay.
But he'll feel better. She'll feel better.
No point in rolling. You have bonded with this horse now. You do take the opportunity. You do see these arrows are pulled out, and again, very much so. The arrows are very distinctly not from around here.
I'm going to keep a couple.
Okay, keep a few.
Should
I also want to keep a couple of the ones I took out.
Okay. We'll say you mark 2. You can mark
That's
3.
2.
Well, there were 3.
Oh.
Yeah, if you want to keep all 3, you're more than welcome to. And there were 3 spears that you guys removed that were. Then these spears almost tower over you as you hold them. If you were to stand, any one of you were to stand, they are almost as tall as Eric's is.
That's tall.
With horns?
Just very much, just short of the horns.
Oh, is it warhorse?
The spears.
Oh, the spears. Sorry.
Yes, you're good.
Can the horse run and make it, or what do we have to do with it?
How strong are you feeling?
Just cursory glance.
Yeah.
This horse needs food and water immediately.
We need to take care of him. Do I get a sense of gender from this horse?
It's a male.
Okay. We need...
Yep. Just as I suspected.
We should desaddle it and take all burden off of it and just tether it to one of the other horses and feed it as we go.
So you take the initiative,
Yeah.
pull the saddle off. Again, you would take notice on here.
Horses don't need saddles anyway.
We'll say that when you remove it, you open the saddlebags. You see there are 3 days of rations still attached to this. You would take note of a notebook that has nothing in it yet, inkwell, and very minor notes, or very minor things that would be given to like a soldier on a patrol or on a campaign.
The ink in the notebook I will give to Rao because he does things
All right,
like
you have
that.
an ink and a quill.
And a
I'll
notebook.
check real quick. Those all seem normal?
Yeah, still corked and everything. You're surprised. It was all on the horse, so it did not take any damage whatsoever.
Rations, I'll add to our rations.
Yes, you do have 3, and
Yeah.
they're rations. I mean, it takes a while for them to go bad, but
Not that I have any ifs, ands, or buts, but I would suggest not reading that notebook or opening it at all. And we should probably return the saddle as well. Military, they kind of have a thing about reading notes of soldiers.
Meanwhile, I'm just like.
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you looking at?
I'll read the broken seal one first.
The broken seal. As you open this up, it looks like gibberish. Roman intelligence check.
Boy. 21.
It is a code.
Would I have any knowledge doing that whole, like my background in Port Merhetti on deciphering codes such as this?
How about this? I'll give you.
There's an actual
I'll
check
give
for this.
you.
There's an actual check for this.
Is there? I'm trying. It's escaping me right now.
It's intelligence based. I remember that. And I forget what tool you might need also to do it, but it's intelligence based.
Yeah.
Unless it's a magical code, then it's Arcana based.
It's not a magical code.
Okay.
Roll me yeah, shit. Roll me an insight check.
The challenge rating is typically 10 plus intelligence plus proficiency of whoever wrote the code.
Right.
I'm gonna use my inspiration
Okay.
and roll a different die.
Well, you banked it off the thing there, so I don't know.
And Tony Hawk it.
Indeed. Pro skater.
Come on, you got this.
15.
15. Indecipherable. It is code. You see patterns but you have no idea what it's saying. We'll say all this is happening. You're linking the horse up, you're desaddling, you're kind of maybe running the perimeter, like making sure no one's kind of watching you. You need to help get the body in, and and then you look to the other paper.
Yes.
Right, you unfold this other. Unfold. You look at all the other scrolls. It look like standard, like issued orders from the Emerald Guard. Nothing out of the realm of regiment here needs to go and move supplies. This needs to happen here.
It doesn't echo any kind of code.
No, this is very much written in the common tongue, and has the seal of a Commodore based out of Cariad. The folded piece of paper is very personal, and you realize this. It seems like. Or me an insight check.
Wonder twin.
Was it a 1?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not sure, but as you read it, it is written in the common tongue. It says, "My soul, my love." If you're reading this means that I have fallen. I will not hold you one last time. You are my everything. I can only hope to meet you in another life. My love for you is one thing that kept me going in these long journeys. I will always love you. Please care for our sweet Chesterfield. And as you would take, handling the horse, you would notice on the side of the saddle it says Chesterfield. It says, "My light, my love, my soul." And it's signed Celestial Duval.
Celestial.
Celestial.
Duval.
Mm-hmm. And it has listed a name at the bottom of who it's supposed to go to. It's supposed to go to a Solaris Duval.
Alright, I'm in the cart, so I don't think anyone else is in the cart at that point.
I'm
up
loading
front.
the body.
Yeah, you see a body.
Alright. Hello, Unido.
Hey, we're gonna try to bring her back to her family once we find whoever and carry it.
Her name is Celestial.
How do you know that?
I hand you the note.
And you read the same thing.
Yeah.
No rank, nothing. This is a very personal letter that you are reading.
Want me to roll anything for this?
Nope.
Okay. That's... Oh, no. I'm not really good at being the bearer of bad news, so... That's
Bring
good.
her back. We should... we were going to bring her back anyway. I think we should make an effort to try and find this Solaris.
Can I grab? I'm lift my hand out for the note. Grab it. I'm gonna give it to Parsley.
The code?
No, the
letter.
The letter.
The note.
She looks at it.
That's what you gave. That's your passing. Did you give that to me?
The love letter.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
right.
the love letter. Yeah.
As soon as she sees, she reads the letter. She says, "Solaris Duval. I know who that is.
Who?
She's got a shop in Cariad. She's an apothecary. Dovavar knows her."
This keeps getting worse and worse.
Do you know her well?
No, of her. I've never met her. I did recognize the name, though. Dovavar's spoken of her.
Well, now that we know who it is, we can return the body and the horse. Unfortunately, give her the bad news.
All the signs are pointing that we should probably get back to Carried as soon as we can.
I agree.
All aboard.
Villafera speaks up. She says, "When we camp, I need, as soon as possible, I need to help her pass on."
Yeah, we'll help you with that too. But maybe not right here.
I'll need your help. I'll need your help. And yours as well.
Of course.
I don't know what you can do, Mr. Unido. She calls you Mr. Unido. Dakota, I'm so sorry if you're watching. I just don't know what to say.
Mr.
You can. I don't know what you're capable of.
kind of look down, but I'm not really sad because I can't feel emotions.
You're hurting feelings.
Pack the wagon up, tie the horse off to the other, give a little grain, a little water, and you begin to make your trek up the road. It is the rest of the day goes by uneventful. We'll say that Mr. Kotor and Pipalook, you do notice not far from the road, you notice another village, another hamlet.
No, we're not with them, so good.
You want to bring this crazy train into their village and...
It'd be easier than staying out in the open, I believe.
All right.
I will call back to the others. We found a small village that we might be able to stay the night in.
As much as I'm not a fan of small villages anymore, I'm kind of a fan, or less of a fan of camping, so just do it.
Hopefully there's no watermills, or secret things, invisible creatures, or big bugs, or
Castles.
So you make your way
Love
towards the...
you.
It's not too far. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you're going less than, like I say, half a mile. And you get over to the village. Very small. Only, we'll say, you see a temple, and some scattered houses and some sort of a general store.
Temple
of Palor.
Oh, okay.
You take notice of the symbol, sunburst, that is attached to it. Very ramshackled sunburst that is on the side of this, carved out of wood. But you make your way into town just before dusk. What are you doing?
Any of these look like an inn?
I start laughing. Let's go to the temple and see if he's got a cold, dark place to store this body for the night.
Sure, why not? Hey, Mr.
Bring
Man,
out your
we got a
bed.
body that you can hide.
That's...
You're heading towards the temple?
Yeah.
Okay. You make your way towards the temple.
Vampires.
You make your way towards the temple. You park the cart, and you stand in front of this temple. Who is entering into the temple of Palor?
I'll enter the temple.
Okay.
I will go in as well.
All right. As you walk in, the
Down.
doors swing open, and you see a single man lighting candles as the night is about to commence, and he's lighting candles within. Older, very old, bald, wearing some sort of burlap or monk-like robes, and he spins around, and you see this ruddy-nosed, old, fat man. And he looks to you, and he says, "Welcome to the Church of Palor. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Alejandro Friar."
I run up immediately to him and I go.
Hello,
stand.
look at this guy. He shakes your hand. What brings you to the Church of Palor?
Go ahead.
Sorry to bother you so late at night. We were on the road traveling and we're just trying to find a place to crash for the evening, and possibly some clerical services.
Clerical. Like paperwork?
Prayer, healing.
Paperwork. I got it.
People work. Ah.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Everyone is welcome in the temple of Palor, the Sun Lord, the Sun. Again, my name is Alejandro.
Is he slurring a bunch? Does he seem like a real friar to me?
Insight check. Alejandro Rodrigo Tusciletto St. John's at your service. You can call me Art.
Well, that's a very impressive 3.
It seems legit.
Okay.
Welcome. And what services do you require? I'm lighting candles currently, and he's like,
Did Bellafera come in with us?
she's followed you in.
Do you think he could help you with
I don't think
whatever
he
you're
can stand right now.
doing? Do you just want maybe some supplies from him or something?
You see what you can get. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what you use. I mean, I've seen your candles, but like,
Well, I just need a place. I just need a quiet place.
do you have like a small ceremonial spot? I guess we could use.
I have a dining hall that you can use. We can eat. We can feast. It's, look how many passers-by in this area.
Yeah, you might lose your appetite at this. So, maybe like someplace outside or behind the chapel.
What?
We have a individual of your kin, not exactly, but close enough. And she needs to perform some rituals of her own.
Well, this temple is open to all. The Pelor is very becoming and welcome to those.
I'll turn to Bellafair and I'll say, are you okay with just doing it in here? Or
if he allows me to, yeah, that would be fine.
That seems he seems pretty allowing. So.
Gee, require food or libation.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Well, let's feast first, and then we can do rituals.
Bellafair, are you okay with that?
At this point, I think that's fine. Is he okay?
He's fine. And I'll turn back to Alejandro and say, I'll help you with the dishes. And I'll just make sure he doesn't fall over.
I like this guy. He slaps you on the back. He says, come, we must drink of many wines and eat plenty of foods. And welcome. I introduced myself again. I am Alejandro Rodrigo Tuchileto St. John's. And you are?
I'm Raul. Roy, Eric's, Unido. Oh, you're not there?
No.
I'll just point out where we're there.
Oh, welcome to Church Palor, and let's go feast. I have a lamb that has been freshly roasting all day.
Unido, can you grab everyone that's outside and just tell them to come in?
Oh, I had gone back to get the body.
Are you coming back in? Maybe a strength check there, Stretch.
You want Unido to relay a message.
You kill me. You actually kill me.
Not
3,
wisdom.
you're dragging this body. Weekend at Bernie's. And you're dragging it up the stairs. Unido, what would you like? Are you going outside too?
I'll go out.
You go out and you
I
see
see
Eric's
this.
dragging the body of this
I'm just watching.
fallen soldier.
And like I was saying, we have so much respect for the dead.
Yes, you get it inside the temple. Get the body within the temple. Move it off to the side. Probably cover it up. And Alejandro has ushered you to the back of the temple, where there is a feasting hall, decent sized feasting hall that he is. I must hold on. I'm going to, and he leaves quickly to go grab. You hear a bunch of plates and such being.
So I'll go help him with the plates.
Yep, he's got like wooden bowls and plates, and he's moving it together, and he's setting the table for your party. You are welcome. Do you sit down? You have a seat. All right, you sit, and he begins to lay out plates. They're just kind of flung silverware. It's all wooden. Everything's made of wood.
I like it already.
Yes.
I
I was
would
gonna
like
steal
aesthetic.
all of it.
I like to walk around the chapel because this is the first time I've been in like an established place of worship.
Mm-hmm. You take notice. There's one finely made stained glass window, and then everything else is kind of standard.
Okay.
Very standard, but.
Is there any like hints of what this, besides the sunburst, of what this deity is or who it represents?
Religion check.
Sure.
I want to sit next to Alejandro.
Okay. 3. You don't know. You have not seen this, especially from where you hail from. This is new to you. But you see the sunburst, so you assume something related to the sun.
God of the sun. That's what I got.
Plates are set, and you all are welcome at the table. Alejandro seated. He even looks. He's about to sit at the end of the table. It's like, this is weird to me. If anyone else would like to sit at the head of the table.
It's your house.
It is not my house. It is his. And he stops for a minute. He's like, it is his house.
Belor.
It is his house. And you all get a moment of like bereavement from him or acknowledgement towards the deity that he is serving. And he rushes back and he grabs the lamb, and you see him bring out all types of food, and these jugs are set all across the table. Please, you're welcome in the house of Palor.
Can I, because I find it a little suspicious that he just has a bunch of food laying around. Can I roll like an insight to see
Insight
if
check.
he's freaky.
As he unzippers his face, haha, it's all poison.
Shit. I'm gonna dig into
Right.
that lamb.
Huh?
I'm gonna dig into that
Yeah,
lamb.
you cut into that lamb. It is moist. It is exactly cooked to specifications.
7.
7.
Yeah.
It seems legit to you.
I'm gonna stand by the food and like plate rotation and just carve for
Oh
everyone
yeah.
else before
Oh yeah.
I do my
He's
own.
very
Thanksgiving
helpful.
style.
Very helpful, and he
Trying
begins
to.
to.
Change.
He begins
Another
to.
car.
You guys begin to. He places a plate specifically in front of you. They're just eat up. You gotta put some meat on your bones. What brings you to the Temple of Palor? What is your problem?
We just happened to be traveling south, and this seemed like the first friendly place we could find. So
Aye, friendly.
yeah, so we just stopped on by, and then
Well, Viltharom is always friendly to those that pass by. If you've heard of the Temple of Palor, you've heard of Viltharom. Not many the temples of Palor that exist this far north, but we do what we can.
excuse me, Vil what?
Viltharom.
Fill the room?
Viltharom.
I'm just drinking whiskey.
Vil.
Oh, okay.
I still have no idea what he's saying.
Thorim.
Gotcha.
Well, I welcome all to in the house of Palor.
We would appreciate any board that you could offer. We've been staying out in the wilds these past few days, and I know my companions would appreciate.
It's cold out.
It's a little brisk.
It's at this point all of you hear footsteps. Locked. Heavy. And they begin to rush into the room. And you see about 12 children run into this room.
Don't do me like that.
Hand on holster.
You see these kids.
Attacker throws a turkey
They
leg.
range from ages 12 to about 6. And they run in. And they are dirty. They are absolutely filthy. And they are wearing tattered clothes. And they sit down in seats next to wherever you guys are seated. And they start, as you're digging into the lamb, they dig in, dirty hands and all, and just start grabbing at meats and rolls and all kinds of food and just start. You essentially met the Lost Boys.
Move one of my plate over.
Was this for them? Are we eating their food by accident?
There's plenty. There's always plenty in the house of Palor.
Okay, I'm gonna stop eating until I make sure all the kids have food.
Oh, they're just wolfing it down. Potatoes like in hands, just.
I'm gonna eat, but properly with proper etiquette.
One of the kids sits back. He looks a little half elven, blonde hair, very dirtied, almost like streaks and noodles down. Had a little bit of red on his nose from being outside in the cold. Looks to you, he says, "His body in the other room,"
Oops.
and just starts eating lamb.
What you looking at me for?
Where did you place the nice lady?
I point all to Eric's because I didn't help at all carry it in.
Does someone help me want to properly stow her?
She's got like a blanket wrapped around her.
The kid just eats and looks at the conversation.
Kids make me very uncomfortable.
Well,
You're funny looking.
Thank you.
And the kid kind of he points out and touches your skin, and you're cold.
I get up to go move the body.
As you go to stand up, one of your legs is kind of pulled, and you look down and you see another kid that's kind of attached to your leg.
I'll scoop. How small does the kid look?
The one that's attached to the leg?
Yeah.
He's probably about 6 years old. So.
All right, I'll scoop him and underarm him.
Oh, strength check.
Are you wearing something?
No, not even that. He's attached.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Let me see. Oh, that's 12.
17. This kid is locked on.
I'll say.
But you feel that your boot getting pulled.
I'll say, hey kids, do you want to watch a show?
Oh, he's got his magician there.
finish your food and then we'll put on a show for you.
You just see him like just shoving food. Like one kid like chokes. He's just trying to get the food in his mouth fast enough.
And I'm gonna try to grab the kitty and say, do you want to help me prepare for the show?
Persuasion check.
Because it's a 6-year-old.
Ooh, no.
Oh,
That's an
no.
8.
I want to stay with the funny man.
Oh boy.
Okay, I guess you're staying with the funny man.
One of the little girls comes over to you and starts pulling at your braids. Not tugging, just admiring your braids.
I just leave my hair down so that you can see it better.
She is impressed with your, and you see her dirtied hair. Yeah. Mr. Kotor.
The
Perception check.
No,
Exactly.
I know.
No,
I've got I've had my
Yeah.
hand on my gun and everything. Was
Maybe a perception check.
Boy, I better use that inspiration.
17.
Yeah, you feel a tug on the
Nope.
the hilt, the handle.
Next answer is a boot.
What is it?
It's heavy.
What is it?
It is your demise.
They are children, Roy.
Complete kindergarten cop moment going on right now.
It's his cootie box. If you touch it, you get cooties too.
Why did you say that?
They immediately, all of them, shift away from the table. And one of them kind of, and they move looking at him.
What is happening right now?
I owe you at least one win in a game.
Unfortunately, the one is still attached to your leg.
I
don't want cooties.
Well, all right.
I'll walk over to next to Eric. I'm like, getting closer. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to the little kid.
No, that's not.
I'm breathing heavy. I'm breathing heavy.
Intimidation check.
Intimidation check. Tree or something.
Intimidation? No, I can't intimidate a 6-year-old.
You're doing it right now.
7.
It just squeeze. You feel like the circulation in your leg from your knee down just begin to tingle.
This is great. This is fine. Everything's great. Yep.
Okay, okay, kids, I gotta get ready for the show. I'll be back in 10 minutes. And I'll go move the body.
All right, you begin to step away. The kids keeping an eye on Mr. Cooties.
I'm just slowly rotating
They-
through the room.
Move across the room, and then they move back, following you every step of the way.
This reminds me when I was a child and I was in charge of herding the chickens.
Herding with a D.
Oh,
Oh, we eventually hurt them too. Look at all the kids.
You set up for your show. What are you showing?
I'm gonna essentially like Big Daddy it and just find different items around the place to hurt myself.
What?
I got one.
He's like, it's basically what made my little sister laugh when she was younger. So, I'll find like a chair to stand on, and then just like fall forward.
Roll me a performance check.
I applaud immediately.
Sound like claves.
Okay, 15.
15. Yeah, they managed not to hurt yourself. With a 15, you mimic the idea that you are hurting yourself.
Okay.
You fall, you land in the right positions to not like crack a rib or smash your face. They are ecstatic. You even hear Alejandro just clapping. Very, very, very intrigued, very, very happy with the situation. As time does pass and they are full with food in their bellies, you see them kind of rubbing their eyes, and the one attached to your leg eventually kind of falls asleep on your foot.
I
But not
step
holding-
myself out of there.
You're burning the spell. You're just burning the spell. You see Eric's, and the kid just and cracks his head on the floor.
Oh no!
Wakes up and kind of rolls over and falls back to sleep. Alejandro takes the opportunity. You see him scoop the smaller ones and nod his heads towards some of the bigger kids, and they begin to grab the kids, and they head to another room, a branch of this temple.
Please tell me it's where the body is.
No, the body's in the main area.
To the girl who was examining my braids, I would like to give her one of the bone tokens that I carved, because I have 2 small ones and 1 big one.
Mm-hmm. This is from the Banderhop?
Yeah. And and it's just gonna be the image of a fox, which is that I carved onto, which is gonna be the reflection I think she
Okay.
fits.
Roll me charisma check.
Yeah. 12.
She smiles. She's very happy with this toy that you've given her. She dances it around. She looks at you, blinks her eyes tiredly.
Sleep well.
She scurries away quickly. All the children are out of the room. Alejandro is out of the room. The body is towards the front of the temple. You are full. Those who partook, you're a little inebriated. And Villafera looks to all of you and says, we must do this as soon as possible. Can someone help me bring the body towards the altar here?
Yeah, I got you. I can do it.
Okay. I'll say no rolls necessary. You guys eventually do it with care enough not to desecrate the body any further than you already have. I respect the dead. You lay the body down, and you see Villafera lay out her vestments, light some candles, and she prepares her spell. Because I want Dakota to take part in her spell, we are going to go ahead and end this episode here. As you guys, it was pretty epic. I like it. Everything that happened. It was a lot. A lot. You have met Alejandro, who was a nice character of mine that I'd love to play. He is a great cleric. He is a great cleric. When he's not drunk. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for sticking around with us, watching us. I want to give a big shout out to my man, Faceman41, for dropping those bits on us. What? Yeah. What's a bit? What's a bit? That's crazy. Thank you so much for doing so. Again, we did make affiliate, and anything that you donate towards us is going to, we are going to help our charity, Sustainable Families Foundation here. We're going to help them raise some money because they do great things, and we want to do great things with them. And if you want to do great things, then please feel free to help us keep this stream going and help that charity stay alive. Please stick around. Next, I'm sorry, what you got, James?
Austin has something for
Oh,
you.
what's up, Killa?
We do want to thank you for. We want to thank Easy Roll of Dice for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Even though I have not been rolling.
Glass Cabinet Hobbies for providing us with D&D miniatures.
Our artist, Carolina Abrantes.
Our artist, Carolina Abrantes. Again, you can catch her on her Twitter at @fires_00. Also, she has a Patreon. You should give her some love, even if it's just $1. Everything helps.
She's
also,
having a sale right now too.
She is having a sale on her commissions, portraits, and I guess full. Eventually, we were going to get some fulls from her. We're gonna play with that. Also, again, I do want to give a shout out again. I was just notified that Faceman41 did give us 2 subscriptions. So thank you again. You're really looking out for us. You know, and you keeping the dream alive here. And if you like what we're doing, all of you, if you like what we're doing, just give us a shout on our social media. You can find that at the bottom of our page, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at TRexHigh5. So check that out. What else am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, next week, we will not be doing our regular scheduled campaign, but you can catch us doing our one-shot campaign, the Springs Huntsman. That's a lot to say. For me, right now, specifically. But I'll get to play. Yay! That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun.
As well?
What's that? Wait, we'll start at a regular time. Regular scheduled bat time. And also, we will be doing 2 individual shows for International Tabletop Day. We will not be doing anything Dungeons & Dragons specific, but we'll be playing board games and partaking in a Game of Dread on the 27th of April. Also, if you can, some friends of mine, they run a comedy podcast up in Pennsylvania. It's called the Buddha Boys. Please give them a little bit of love. You can go anywhere podcasts are available. You can check them out. And I think that's it. I think we did a lot. We got a lot accomplished today.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Please take care of yourselves. Love one another, and don't forget, adventure is for the bold. Thank you so much.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of was like Rella's performed, and I just remembered the scene in Big Daddy where like Adam Sand's like